All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this Partner Certification Academy for SAP Business Data Cloud. My name is Priya, and I'm joined by my colleagues Shadan and Sandeep. And together, we will take you through the different topics within Business Data Cloud certification journey. We will also help you with the Q&A during this live session. Now, to briefly introduce myself, I'm working in SAP Analytics from last 17 years now, and my expertise include BW, Datasphere, HANA modeling, and SAC. So today we will walk you through the details around Business Data Cloud with many other useful information on how to approach your study and get certified. So this is a high-level agenda for today. We will start with introduction on Partner Get Certified Academy, followed by the certification content, which includes exploring SAP Analytics Cloud, exploring SAP Datasphere, and Business Data Cloud. Uh, the housekeeping rules have already been done. Only one thing I would like to reiterate is please use the Q&A box for submitting your questions. If by chance you are asking your question on the chat, it might get lost and it might not get answered. And also, please note that the questions should be within the scope defined by the Business Data Cloud learning journey, and we cannot cover questions beyond that in this particular session. The goal of partner certification academies are simple. We want to prepare you for your certification exam by delivering in live sessions our condensed version of this learning journey content available on learning.sap.com. And through a certification academy like this, SAP experts walk you through the content quicker and more efficiently than self-paced study of the learning journeys and provide you an opportunity to engage and get answer to your questions live. The flow that we envision is quite simple. Since you registered, you will have received invitation to the sessions that the academy consists of, which is where we will cover the content outlined in the agenda, and we will be available to answer any questions you might have within the scope of content defined in the learning journey. As a reminder, attending an academy should sufficiently prepare you for the associated certification exam. However, it remains attendees' responsibility to get familiar with all the learning journey content in order to pass the certification exam. As a last step, please check your certification status and make sure you stay certified by taking the Delta training and assessment ahead of time. So now, obviously, besides the new skill set and knowledge you will obtain through this academy, it's a huge benefit for you as an individual to get certified because it makes you objectively more attractive as a SAP consultant. Certifications also help your current employer as customers prefer to work with knowledgeable and skilled partners. When it comes to SAP projects, customers usually prefer partners who have certified and qualified SAP consultants to manage SAP projects. Lastly, certified consultants are very important to SAP as it helps increase project delivery success and reduce project escalations. So here you see the combined agenda for today. So in the next 3 hours, we will cover three different sections that pertains to three different learning journeys, exploring SAP Analytics Cloud, exploring SAP Datasphere, and introducing SAP Business Data Cloud. And all these learning journeys are part of the preparation for the associated exam, SAP Certified Associate, SAP Business Data Cloud. You can access these learning journeys following these particular links, which are embedded in the bottom of the slide. Okay, so now with this, let's get started with the content and let's see the overview and positioning of SAP Business Data Cloud and understand what exactly we SAP is offering to our customers as part of this new solution. So before we get into the technicalities of Business Data Cloud, first let's try to understand the positioning of this new solution. Now, this slides demonstrate something that all of us have seen from our experience, right? So let me go to the laser pointer. Mhm. Okay, anyways, so normally in every business, we can see that there are two organizations, right? So one is the decision makers, right, and the LOB users who need solution for their particular business problem. And the other one are the technology experts or the IT department of the customer who try to come up with uniform strategy for data management, reporting, and AI. And then the decision makers look at the applications or solutions that can solve their problems, but not necessarily that will align with the IT strategy of an organization. And that begins with the data divide. We call this the data divide because, when it is a very technology focused discussion, you have a big gap between what the technology experts want to build as a solution and what the decision makers actually need. So, what SAP is proposing is that, okay, we have seen the problems at the customer's end, and our solution for these problems would be the business data cloud. And again, this is probably the information you have already known, heard, seen, shared, but let's talk about it again. So, SAP data losing its semantics and control is one of the challenges that customers face. A lot of these customers wants to consolidate the data and they go to our competitors like Click that extract all the data from SAP applications and its raw tables, and the semantics is lost in the process. Now, when you try to create the analytics or data models on top of such replicated data without any semantics, then you have to work with your business users to rebuild all the lost semantics and context. And definitely it takes a lot of time and effort, and but they are still doing this approach. So now with Business Data Cloud, we are looking to offer unified business semantics. Now, what does that mean? So like a connected end-to-end SAP data model, right? So imagine having being able to pull data out of Fieldglass or SuccessFactor and then harmonizing it with S4 data. So we are actually trying to harmonize the data model across the SAP application stack so that it becomes easier for customers to get these combined insights. And then which of course leads to, rich business semantics of SAP data, getting away from having to rebuild, losing context, and potentially making errors down the road as well when you are rebuilding all this information. So another challenge, and again, everybody's familiar with this. So that's the no cost efficient approach to, storing, organizing, and processing huge amount of both SAP and non-SAP data at scale. So it's this probably one of the number one things, right, that's causing customer to go elsewhere to consolidate and process all the data. So now with SAP Business Data Cloud, we are providing an embedded Databricks instance that will help with the harmonization at scale of SAP and non-SAP data. And it will have a bidirectional integration with SAP Business Data Cloud, which means we can read the data from SAP Business Data Cloud into Databricks without any further copy, and then do the data massaging, model training, data forecasting scenarios, and then send the prediction result, let's say, back to Business Data Cloud for the harmonized reporting. Also, we have given this embedded data lake, that's the integrated object store in SAP Datasphere, and we can store the data in the file format, and then we can utilize this object store as a data storage for our analytics scenarios. And then, of course, the benefit of that is organize and manage data at scale and really prepare our customers to accelerate their AI and ML initiatives as well. Another thing that we have seen that customers We all know they require this increasing volumes of data, SAP and non-SAP, again to fuel those high value use cases more around AI, and the inconsistent semantic models really makes it very difficult for them to combine these data sets well enough to facilitate these use cases. This also leads to huge amount of time and effort spent on integration of such data without common semantics. So Business Data Cloud will give that environment with a lot of pre-built, pre-provisioned SAP data and non-SAP data on a common semantical model. So this pre-built semantically aligned data is delivered using a concept of SAP data products. So all the LOB applications will create semantically rich data product with the industry best practice and business logic. And then these data products will be consumed within SAP Business Data Cloud to create the analytics models or to create the AI/ML scenarios with the Databricks. Also, for non-SAP data, we have the SAP Datasphere as part of the component of Business Data Cloud. So even if we have a third-party solution, we can integrate those third-party solutions using the native integration capabilities of SAP Datasphere, and we can then harmonize the data the way we want. So basically, all this process of data access and integration will simplify because we are providing more out of the box and kind of lowering that cost of ownership for our customers. And last but not least is AI use cases. So basically, SAP is going to provide applications that have embedded AI in it. We have seen our solutions with the generative AI already included, like in SAC, we have just asked. So with BDC, we are going to include a Joule Copilot with it so that customers can have generative AI use cases, search to insight kind of scenarios in a natural query languages. Also, with Business Data Cloud, we are getting this out of the box, really enriched SAP managed and partner managed intelligent applications so that customers don't have to build everything on their own. So we, with these intelligent applications, we are helping the customers really extract the value from our data and really help them speed that time to insight. So that was the gist of different benefits that Business Data Cloud can bring to customers' existing data and analytics portfolio. So now we got familiar with the why of Business Data Cloud, and it's time to look into what is Business Data Cloud. So it is a fully managed software as a service solution that unifies and governs all SAP data while seamlessly connecting with third-party data. And it provides business with the context needed to make impactful decisions using our pre-built and ready-to-be consumed applications. So basically, Business Data Cloud is a combined offering, taking multiple SAP offering existed so far into a joint commercial model. So there are some existing solutions that are part of Business Data Cloud, like you can see on the slide, SAP Datasphere, SAP Analytics Cloud, and we also introduce a new BW modernization strategy where you can integrate your existing BW system with Business Data Cloud. Along with these existing solutions, we also have some new components like SAP Databricks and Foundation Services, which we are going to talk about later. But for now, let's dive into the two core components of Business Data Cloud, and that is SAP Analytics Cloud and SAP Datasphere. And with this introduction, I will hand it over to our next presenter for today, Shadan, who will take you through the details of SAP Analytics Cloud. Over to you, Shadan.
Yeah, thanks, Priya. I hope we can hear me.
Yes.
Yeah.
You will share your screen?
Yes, I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, everyone. So we'll be talking about SAP Analytics Cloud component of BDC. And this is the broad agenda we have for today. And just let me remind you that Although we have a lot of topics to be covered in SAC, we'll be covering only the topics which are mentioned in the learning journey for BDC, as we cannot go through all the content together in this small session. So let's start. So, what is SAC Analytics Cloud? So, basically, SAC provides some four basic features such as business intelligence, augmented analytics, and enterprise planning, as well as some platform services. So, when we talk about business intelligence, we are talking about data discovery, exploration, reports, dashboards. And when talking about augmented analytics, so we talking about conversational analytics. Basically, you can use a just ask feature and ask what are the sales for last 2 3 months. So those kind of analytics we are calling as conversation analytics. Then automated analytics, you can get forecasts of your sales, and then predictive analytics. And then, of course, you have enterprise planning, where you can plan out your budgets and you can work out with events, workflows, and allocations. And of course, then you have your platform services, basically your life cycle management, your data connectivity, connecting to different data sources, your modeling, your auditing, your tracings, and then your scheduling, and of course, collaboration. Now, let me take you quickly into the home screen of SSC, and let me just quickly go to a live demo. I hope my screen is visible. Can I get confirmation, Priya? Priya, is my screen visible? The browser screen?
Yes, it is
Okay.
visible.
Thank you. So, this is what you see when you just log into SEC. You'll see your name, and this is the various options. I'll start from the right side. And we'll not go through all the options since we have limited time. So, the main option over here is your profile. You see your profile name, and you go to your profile settings. In profile settings, you see various options where you can change your default language, your what do you call your timestamp based on your location, your number formatting, and your various features such as your currency position, your scale formatting. So these options can be changed by user preference by coming over here. You can also upload your profile picture from here, right? And if I go click again on the home screen settings, so basically this is defines what you see when you log into SSC. So whether you want to see the get started tab, you want to see the welcome message, you want to see the recent stories or the recent presentations, recent analytical applications, or you want to see recent files. So you can always toggle this on and off from here, and you can click on OK. So as you can see, we can see the recent stories section because it's enabled from the profile settings, and recent article applications if you have access to your last applications, and recent digital boardroom presentations can be seen over here, what you have access from before. Then coming over here, a very important feature is just ask. You see this light bulb. Just ask is like more like conversation analytics. You can simply ask some questions over here. For example, if we take this sample question. So basically, if you want to know the sales per year actuals and forecast for the state Washington bar graph, you can type it out here, a similar sentence, and you can need also select
Shadan,
the model.
Shadan,
Yes.
just a moment. The font size is very small. Can you zoom your screen a bit?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
slides are okay, but here it is very, mm, yeah, very small font
Let
size.
me quickly zoom in. Is it better now?
Yeah, better now. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks. Yeah. So now basically when you come to this screen, you can always select your model. You need to select your model, and then you can type out your information what you want. So then the system generates automatically your graph based on the data what you have asked for. And of course, it gives you some built-in filters, and you have some options over here. You can copy this chart, you can use it in your stories, and you can download the data also. So this is one of the just ask features. We will again come across this in our slides later on. Let me move on to the other parts of the screen. So I'll click on exit just ask, okay, and go back to my home quickly. One minute, let me please zoom out. I think we have some technical issue. Let me quickly refresh. Yeah, back to our home screen. Of course, so this was the Today tab where you see all the recent stories, recent application, and recent digital boardroom. There's another important feature called catalog. So if I click on catalog, what catalog is basically a place where you can share your multiple dashboards to a specific group of people. You can group them into a catalog. So example, if you have developed some dashboards for salespeople, you can group all the sales dashboards into one and you can show it over here. So if I look on the left hand side and click on sales, so these are the three sales dashboards. And the other important feature of catalog is you can have external links also embedded over here. So if you have a Fiori app, you can embed the hyperlink of Fiori app. If you have another Power BI or external application report link, you can hyperlink it over here. So this is not only limited to SAP applications. It's also you can hyperlink third party content over here. So this is a very good way for deploying your dashboards, which is in a catalog, right? Now, going back to the home screen again, on the left-hand side, you have this folder icon, which is nothing but your file explorer, just like how you have in Windows Explorer. And once you click on File Explorers, you'll get My Files. My Files is probably you'll get the dashboards created by you, so it'll come up outside the folders. Otherwise, you'll get a default folder called Samples with some samples and a public folder, right? And then, of course, you have these buttons owned by me, shared by me. If you click owned by me, you'll get files owned by you, and shared with me. If somebody shares the file with you, then you get from over here. And favorites, you can select the star icon to click your favorites. Featured, if there's a featured file, will come up featured, and recent deleted files will come up over here. Course. And now coming to this left-hand side, if you see, this is where you create the stories from. Of course, we'll get into this detail once we go in the slides coming along, but this is from where you'll create the stories with using responsive canvas or grid page. And this is your applications. This is basically your data analyzer. So this is mostly used for ad hoc analysis, where you don't want to create a story, but actually just want to analyze the data from an existing model or from a data source or from a flat file. And then you have this icon, which is the digital boardroom. This is more to create some kind of PowerPoint presentations. You can quickly create PowerPoint presentation kind of dashboards from here. This again will be covered in on another slides when we go along. And here is data sets. This again is another tool where you can do some ad hoc analysis, and from this data set you can create a story. Unlike what we saw in data analyzer, from data analyzer you cannot create a story. But from data sets you can create a story. And this is another major component called the modeler. So modeler is the one where you will be creating models, either an import model or a live model. This is the basis for any dashboard or story. You have to create a model. And then this one is the calendar. This is more used in SAC planning, where you want to schedule tasks and appoint a task to a reviewer in planning, and as well as in the general SAC BI reporting, when you want to schedule a report to be broadcasted or sent to a user, then you can see those schedule settings in this calendar. Then we come to content network. What is content network? Content network is a place where if you want to install a business content, so you have standard business content, you can install from content network, as well as there are some sample dashboards, as well as you have some third-party business content. So this is majorly paid content by our partner companies which develop some specific dashboards which are not available for free. You have to pay for this, but the business content is free. And another important point for content network is it is used in lifecycle management. So when you want to move a dashboard from a development environment to quality environment, you have to import and export into the content network, and you can use the network for that. Going below, this is the security part where you can create teams and you can create roles. So here you can, if you are creating a dashboard for the sales team, you have to first assign the users to a team called sales, and then you can share the dashboard easily to a particular team. Again, this is where you assign the roles, and this is the role request. If you have some pending role requests, they come up over here. Now this is the transport section. This is like basically where you import and export dashboards from one tenant to another tenant. So from like example, like a develop environment to a quality environment. So you export a dashboard from this development environment and then go in the next environment of quality, the next tenant of quality, and then import from there. And again, this monitor is, let's just go back again. This monitor is just to see what all actions have been taken in the system, what all data has been downloaded, who's downloading the data, from which ID and what date, and any export has happened. So this is another trace where you can get from monitor. And then you have another important feature here is the connections. Connection is the place where you maintain your data sources. So basically, this is the place where the basis person, the network person, is going to create your connections from your data sources, like S4HANA or BW or DWC, which is nothing but Datasphere. This is where you make the connections. Again, we'll come back over here when you go along the slides, right? So this covers the major part of SAC, and let's go back to the slides now. So going by the slides, I have covered this in the live demo. Let me skip to the slide. This also we have just seen the profile settings, and again, yeah, we have covered this also. So this slide talks about the catalog what we discussed, where it acts as central location, and you can expose multiple applications such as you can business objects or SAP Analytics Cloud dashboards, or Fiori app from SAP S4HANA, or a third party dashboard or report. Moving on, we saw managing files. We saw a managing file section. Of course, here it's basically my files also we discussed in the demo. And again, we covered all this content network, and then we covered the security area. And also we have covered just one more point, I think I forgot to mention while in the system. So there are versions of the tenants, just like how you have your mobile apps. So when you are moving a dashboard to another tenant, they need to be on the same version, or they can be differed by only one version. And there is no backward compatibility. If the tenant is in a lower version, then you cannot move a dashboard from a higher version to a lower version tenant. Moving along. So coming to share content. So how can you share content? So basically, let me quickly go to the system. If I come here quickly, if so this icon is nothing but a story, and if I click on the checkbox, and if I click on this icon, this is where you'll get this share connection. And in fact, let me go back to my slide. We can go through this task flow. So during this presentation of specifically SAC, you'll find a lot of hyperlink task flows. So these are some guided, what you call guided simulations. So let me go through one of the simulation, but in future, I'm not going to go through all of the simulations due to lack of time. So let me just quickly click on the task flow. So anytime on your free time, once we do provide these PDF files of this PPT, you can always come back here and click on this task flow. So this is a simulation. So all you need to just click on next, and it'll guide you where all how to go about the task. So current task is right, it's showing you how to share a particular dashboard. So it is asking to select, click on the folder icon, select files. You can always click on this folder, and let's say if you do not know where to click, you can click anywhere in the area, and it's going to do give you a pop-up. I can click on show guidance. When you click on show guidance, you'll get a highlighted mark where you need to click on. So you can click over here quickly to move ahead. Again, it's asking to click over here. So we are selecting the story now. Okay. Now, after selecting the story, you need to click on share. So it's on top over here. Again, if you do not know, just click anywhere and you can select guidance. Now you can click on share again. And now you can click over here. And now it gives you the list of the teams or the users in the system. So it is asking us to select team B. So we just click on the checkbox of team B and then click on OK. Yeah. And now you can add multiple teams over here, but for the sake of the demo, it is asking to share us now. And if you see this option, email new recipients, if you put a checkbox on this, basically what happens is whenever you share a dashboard, an email with the link of the dashboard will go to the user. If you don't check this, then there will be no email going to the user that a dashboard has been shared to it. And of course, you have this option of customized link. You can give a label to this. Basically, this gives a label to this link. Otherwise, it will go like this. The default link will go like this. If you do customized link, then it will go as a label like a sales dashboard, and then he can click on that hyperlink in the mail. And let us quickly go in the demo and click on share. It doesn't click on share, so let me share it. Yeah, and then of course you can close, and that's how basically you have shared a dashboard to someone. Now let's say you want to do unsharing. So again, you select the query again, select the sorry the dashboard, click on share, click on share again. Okay, you can click over here and you can see there are multiple teams that it has been shared to, and you can click on the checkbox over here. Since in this demo we are trying to unshare it now, and you can click on delete over here. So this will unshare it, right? And you can select close. Yeah. So this now we have successfully completed this simulation. So basically this is how you share, and let us go back to the slides. Okay, so similarly, you will have these task flows of various other topics. You can always go over here and check on the topic and complete it. So there is another option called pin to home. So pin to home is basically when you have a chart in a dashboard, you can simply right click and you click on pin to home. So when you're on the home screen, your chart will be displayed in the home screen. So that's what pin to home means. Scheduling is again something where you can schedule a dashboard basically to the expo the snapshot of the dashboard will be sent to a user in the mail. So basically, you can schedule the time at what time it can be sent, and you can include the name of the report, the subject, the message over here, and also you can, let's say your dashboard has multiple tabs. You can select a separate specific tab, and you can include it in the mail or a certain view, and also the file name you can give over here and the file settings. So this is about scheduling, and another important point of scheduling is that you can share it n number of times to any SAP user, as long as he has a SAP ID in as SAP Analytics Cloud. And but if they want to include an ID from an external system, so right now you can only include maximum of 3 non-SAP Analytics Cloud user IDs over there in the publication, right? Moving along. This is some terminology we have, a common terminology in SAC, which you'll see. So what canvas is nothing but a page, a blank page, which allows you to add a story. In fact, there'll be 3 page types. One is a canvas, one will be responsive, and one is a grid. So canvas is just one of them. Connection, of course, we saw on the previous screen. It's like a fundamental communication between SAP Analytics Cloud and a specific data source. So anytime you want to connect to data source as BW for HANA or Datasphere, there has to be a connection in the connection section of SSE. Data Analyzer, as we saw in the system demo, that it's a tool mostly used for to ad hoc analysis, and it supports BW live queries, live SAP HANA views, data sphere models, and SAP Analytics Cloud models for ad hoc analysis. You don't need to create a story for this, and you cannot. This is just for ad hoc analysis. And then, of course, Digital Boardroom we saw in the demo, in the live system demo where it is, and uh, basically it's an interactive boardroom presentation with access to real-time data, and allows you to basically do a live demo on the data for your management. And then they have a model. Of course, model is the building block of a story, and it's more of a representation of specific business data for organization or business segment. And this is again used for both in a live as well as import. And coming to planning, so planning in general is all about setting strategic goals and determining how to meet those goals by creating budgets, tracking progress, and forecast. Responsive page again is another type of page where it adjusts the layout based on the device which you're watching it on. So for example, mobile or an iPad. So the system automatically adjusts the layout of the story or the dashboard. Story is nothing but a collection of charts and visualizations, and which of course you can share, present, and also you can do comments on the story. Widget is part of the story. So widget is any chart or table or a text element. So basically, these are elements in a story or an analytical application, and that is called a widget. So let's quickly move on. So our next subtopic will be data sources, and connections. So when we talk about connections, there are two kinds of connections. You have live connection and you have import connections. Uh, what are live connections? Live connections are where in live connections the data replication is not required. So it on live connection, it you actually access the metadata directly from your source. For example, Datasphere or S/4HANA, you can have a live function Datasphere and S/4HANA. And in case of security, the security part has to be taken care at your source in case of live connection. So you cannot restrict some kind of data points in SSC in live connections. It has to be done in the backend. Whereas in import connections, you can replication is there. The data is replicated in the SSC tenant, and you can transform the data, and you can also use some features called smart data preparation in the modeler, where you can it gives you tools to manipulate the data while loading, as well as you can track and reverse data transformations, and you can refresh on demand or via scheduling. You can also schedule the data loads in the import data connections. And majorly, import data is used in SAC planning, whereas mostly as a best practice for or based on the or functional needs, we use live connections for your normal business intelligence dashboards. To my right, you see this chart where we are kept. You can see the live data sources like SAP Cloud Platform, SAP S/4HANA, SAP Data Warehouse, SAP HANA Cloud, and in the bottom side is your on-premise data sources, where you can see the various where the data sources which you have. And let me also, one important point is when you are connecting on-premise data sources, so you will be needing a cloud connector as a cloud agent when you're connecting the on-premise or your on-premise data sources. Whereas if you're connecting to cloud sources such as SAP HANA Cloud or SAP Data Warehouse Cloud, which is nothing but Datasphere, you won't be needing a cloud connector or a cloud agent to establish the connection. So this is one major point. Also, when you are actually deciding on what connection to use, either live in data, there are some points you need to take care. One, of course, is the data volume. Depending on the data volume, you need to take care, and also your security constraints, whether you want to store the data in cloud or you just want to have a live connection, and also some functional needs. Whereas if you want to use SC spelling, then you have to use and import connections. And in other instances, like for example, you want to have an inventory dashboard and you want to see the inventory in real time, then you have to go for a live connection, right? And let me just quickly go to the system, and just let me quickly go to the connections. And I just want to show you when you create a connections in the connection sessions, you have this section which is gives you the latest data sources. So this keeps on updating. So every quarter or so, we keep try to adding new data sources over here. So in live connection now, you can see we support BPC, BW Cloud Application, HANA Integrated Business Planning, S4 HANA, and SAP Universe. Whereas if you go down, you in acquired, which is nothing but import connection, you have BPC, again, Cloud Connector, Concur, ERP, Field Class, HANA, and these are the various data sources for importation, and some external ones like Google Drive, and of course OData if you have, and Qualtrics. And right hand side, you can of course filter it by storing on-premise or cloud. Okay, yeah. Okay, let me go back to the slides. Yeah, let's go next. So now let's talk about creating insights. So what is an insight? Insight is basically based on a data. You can create some kind of smart insights. And this is done through a data analyzer where we saw in system demo where it is. And data analyzer, of course, majorly used for ad hoc purposes. And for a particular data set or a data model, you can create an insight. And there is an optional task flow, which I'm not going to go through, but please do click it on your free time because we have less time. I'm going to move ahead. But basically, you can create insights from data analyzer. Yeah. Okay, let's come to the next topic, of course, using modeling. So now when we come to modeling, in the previous session, we saw you have created a connection. And now, in case before creating a story, you need to create a model. And inside the model, you have some building blocks such as dimension and measures. What is dimension? Dimension is majorly characteristics or their categories to provide perspective to your numeric data. So something like a date, region, cost center, like how we have in BW, we call characteristics. In SSA, we call them as dimensions. And then in measures, of course, something which represents a numeric value for which dimension you're analyzing the data. So if I relate to with BW, it's nothing but like how we had key figures in BW. So it's called measures in SSE over here, right? So next we have models. Now, models, there are two types of models when it comes to models. One is, of course, analytical model and a planning model. So analytical model is read-only, which is basically used for business intelligence dashboards. And planning model is, it has both read and write feature. So that is used for planning. And again, from the modeler section, we saw in the live demo, you can create both an import model or a live model based on these connections, right? And furthermore, planning models, if I say it comes in pre-configured and there is two dimensions, whenever you get a planning model, they'll be definitely there, which is the date dimension and the version. So these two dimensions will be always there when you're creating a planning model. Whereas in analytic model, you have a date dimension, but it is not mandatory to have it. You can remove it, but by default, yes, there will be a date dimension. And if let's move ahead. Then comes topic called data sets. Data sets, it's again data sets is a simple collection of data which is usually presented in tabular form. This again data set it can be used for ad hoc analysis, but this can be also consumed in a story. Then you might ask why what is the difference between data set and model? So data set is mainly used for ad hoc purposes, whereas model is used for governed data. And basically you have more options over here, and you can use for in planning scenarios. You have to use a model, whereas data set you cannot use for planning, and it can be used, whereas for predictive workflow it's smart predict. And in formats, it can in if you see the format, data set can be created in a story or separately. It can be an embedded data set, or it can be a public data set. And whereas uh, in model is always like it outside the story, and then you are consuming the model inside the story. And of course the data stored over here is more of a star schema. And in preparation, there is you have less options for data manipulation. As in, once you create a data set, you cannot delete the data, and there's limited data management option over here, of course. And security part also, there is no row level security. Whereas when it comes to your model, data can be overwritten. In import data, you can schedule data, and you can override the data, and you can have further options of security as row level security. You can do some data locking, where we'll see in the next coming slides when we discuss more about planning, right? So now we are going to explore the live models and import models more a bit in a deeper way. So live model, so of course, since it's use live connection, it merely provides access to the data, and there is no data contained in the Analytics Cloud, as we discussed earlier. And in case of Datasphere, which again my colleague will be taking up after SSC, you can directly access the model from the Datasphere through live connection, which means you do not have to create the model in SSC. You just need to create it in Datasphere, and through a live connection, you can access the model in Datasphere. But for other sources, let's say if you want to make a live, if you're using live connection with S4HANA, you will have to make a live model in SSC and then use it for creating that reports. But in case of Datasphere, you don't need to create the live model in SSC. It can directly access the model, analytic model in Datasphere. Import model also, it uses import connection, wherein the data gets copied from source to your SSE tenant. It'll always have two versions of data. One version will be in the origin data source in the and the other version will be in SAP Analytics Cloud. So for import model, you always have to schedule a job to update your data, right? And let us, and of course, in the screenshot below, you can see there is an option, import export job in a model, and where you can click on the calendar and you can schedule the jobs from here, right? Let's move along. So this we're summarizing the modeling workflow from how you go about creating a report. So if you want to create a dashboard report, the first step, of course, identify your data source from which system, and then using the system and the connection, then you first decide either you want to have live or both. And the things you need to consider in that is your performance, your security, and whether it's a planning. So if it's planning, then you always go for import. And whether you want smart predict, whether you want some necessary data wrangling or transformation, again you will go for import over here. Next, then your basis team, of course, creates connections in the SAP Analytics Cloud for that source system, and then for live data, you create live models, and for import, you create import models. And if you have import models, you import the data, and you create dimensions, and you create import master data, and create models, and import understanding data. So these are the basic steps in a modeling workflow, and final step is to create a story. There is a task flow. I would recommend seeing this once you are looking at the learning journey, and once you get this PDF material after these sessions. Next topic is, of course, using basic and advanced stories. So this is basically how a story looks like. And in story, we have three modes. We have view, edit, and there is another mode called presentation mode, which is this icon, a screen icon, which is next to the edit. This is the presentation mode. In view mode, basically, the user has what you call less features. So he cannot go to the edit mode, and there are basically it's more of just looking at the dashboard, and he can interact with the dashboard, but he cannot edit it. Whereas in the edit mode, you have more further options. Um he can edit, and this option is not given to users until unless he's a power user. And in edit mode, you get these options the left hand side, such as assets, outline, and filters, where you have multiple options where you can add a table, add charts, and so on. And let me quickly go to the next screen. And next is the present mode. So when you click on present mode, basically, this again is when you're meeting and you want to present your dashboard, it opens in more an interactive format where you get these navigation tabs where you can click on specific sections. So this in particular, this option, particular screen, this showing a planning dashboard. In planning dashboard, it has planning actuals, HR plan, and planable plan. So he can quickly navigate and click on this to the various sections, and he can click on filter to apply filters. Also, there are other options below where he can directly go to the next tab, or he can enable comments or see comments. So this is more of the presentation mode. Okay, let me go back. So now we come to topic of bookmarking export. So bookmark is nothing but when you are executing a dashboard and you come to a certain stage, and you apply some custom filter on the dashboard. So if you want to come again, you can always save the bookmark. I can click on tools. You can come on bookmarks, and you can go to bookmark current state, and you'll get these various options. And there is, you see, there's a public option. If you select on public, that makes a public bookmark, because somebody else in the tenant can then see those bookmarks. If you want to create a private bookmark, you don't need to check. Don't check this public button. You'll create a private bookmark. So next time when you come, that bookmark will be only seen by you in this section called My Bookmarks. And of course, you can share a bookmark. And again, when you click on share a bookmark, you get this customized link wherein you can always put a label to it, give a meaningful name, and you can share it to your team or a user in SAP Analytics Cloud and click on share. Right. So there is a task flow which will it's a guided task flow. Again, you can see in the system, but due to lack of time, I'm not going to open this right now. And again, you can also export the data of a story into an Excel or a PDF. And there is again how to video on this, and there's a hyperlink over here. Please do check it out. Okay. Next, we come to building simple stories. So in the previous slides, we spoke about models. Now, okay, once you have the models, the next step will be to consume those models in stories. So basically, when you come to stories, you have three major pages. So whenever you click on create story, you'll get the option of creating either on a responsive canvas or a grid. Responsive is the best practice to use responsive, because it can be used on multiple devices out of the box. If you use responsive, the layout can change. Canvas is got more a fixed page size. It is majorly used for financial reporting, where you want to have some pixel perfect formats. It is used in Canvas, but this again, if you view it on a mobile or an iPad, the layout will not change and it will not be visible properly. Grid is something which is only used for tables, but now recently we have something called optimized presentation mode, and in that we are not using grid, and in fact you get the table option in responsive. So we are not using grid right now, because now earlier we used to have a classic design experience. Now we are using the optimized design experience. So this classic design we are slowly deprecating this option. So this won't be, we recommend not using this. We recommend you to always use the optimized and optimized design. The table is available in already available in responsive and Canvas, right? And again, For old HANA and BW versions, always try to use the latest BW and HANA version. In case you are in old BW and HANA version, we should apply the latest notes to get the maximum performance and the feature functionality in SAP Analytics Cloud. Okay, let us go next. So now you have created a story. Basically, you have next step would be to select the data source for the story. So when you're after selecting the page, you need to go to My Files and you need to select our data source. So the simplest what you call way is to drag a chart or table into the story and then select an option from the story menu for a chart and table and then choose data source. When you click on choose data source, you'll have the various models. Either you can select an existing model from My Files, and also you can select your connections. So on the left hand side, you'll have your various connections available to you. Now, in this example, you see a DWC. So if you collect DWC, you can select a model from DWC. Otherwise, you have to select another connection where you have to select the connection and then create a model from there. So that's basically the next step where you choose your data source or a data set. Once in the story, in the edit mode, you have on the left hand side your assets, your outline, and your filters. So assets is the section where basically all your elements are shown. Whether you want to create a drag drop a chart, a table, input control. Input control is nothing but a filter for a chart, text box or a header, or a specific button which you want to interact with. And of course, you have text filter controls if you want to add some more filters and some planning actions. This will is more related to planning where you want to have a copy data or such planning actions over here, and text imports. So these are options come in assets. Whereas your outline, you can access story settings, pages, and scripting options from the outline. So yes, we do have allow scripting also within story. You can get it from the outline, and filters, of course. What are the major filters in the whole story dataset? You'll be accessed through filters. So there is again a task flow. Please go through this task flow to create a simple story which covers these topics. Coming next, we talk about the builder panel. So earlier we had seen the left hand side. Now, if you click on this button on the right hand side, it will enable your builder panel and your styling panel. So builder panel is a place where basically you can add your measures and you can add dimensions to a particular chart. So you have already in the previous slide added a chart from the left hand side, and now from the right side, when you click on the chart, you will enable this right hand side builder panel, and from here you can add your dimensions and your measures. In this example, it is add entity, and it is added a measure called sign data over here, right? And apart from this, you can apply different colors for each measure. So these kind of options you'll find in the builder panel. Whereas in the styling panel, which provides more of formatting options and themes, so you will have some options like size and position, how you want to have the width of the chart, the height of the chart, and the widget background color, do you want borders or not, and other actions, whether you want to put the widget in the foreground or the background, or you want to initialize the widget in the startup or not, and some chart properties where you want to break scale, text fonts, you want to change the text fonts of particular chart, and number formatting, as well as legends, you want to have above or below chart labels. So these kind of options are available in this styling panel. Okay. After that, another feature of SSC, we have some add-ins. So we have three add-ins in total. One is the Analytics Cloud add-in for Microsoft Office. It's more of a cloud-based edition. And we have SAP Analysis for Office is nothing but AFO, commonly uses AFO, Analysis for Office. And also we have SAP Analytics Cloud add-in for Microsoft PowerPoint, which is used which allows you to embed SAP Analytics Cloud widgets into your PowerPoint presentation. Let us quickly look into a bit of detail. So coming to the first one, that is the SAP Analytics Cloud add-in for the Microsoft Office. So what this does is basically this gives you a separate tab of SAC in your current Excel, and this can also be used from the web also as well as from your desktop. Again, it is used to analyze your plans, to simulate future outcomes and make effective business actions in Microsoft Excel, Office Excel 365. And it can use for planning. It can use for plan similar right back to planning models. It can use to collaborate with your colleagues on your desktop, Windows or Mac. And again, you can use the SAP Analytics Cloud models as Analytics type planning. Both models are supported, and it is based on import data connections, and it can consume from Datasphere as well as BW, S4HANA, S4HANA Cloud queries, and S4HANA queries and BW queries using live connections. So this supports both import and live, right? Going next, this is the AFO, of course, answer office. This again, it can be used for designing various formatted Excels. This has more advanced formulas. You can use your more advanced formulas. And if you see, you have a different layout altogether. You will get Access tab over here, and you can use various data sources over here on this section. And you have drag drop facility over here, and on the right hand side it's like a pivot table you can drag into rows and columns, and it basically allows multi-dimensional analysis for any data sources, including of course SSC. You can access even an SSC model over here. And one major point is, while this A4 can be used to plan Analytics Cloud data, the future development, all future development regarding SAP Analytics Cloud will be on the uh, add-in, the SAP Analytics add-in, and not the A4 part of this Microsoft Office, right? Coming next. Again, we have an add-in for PowerPoint. So basically, this is a simple plugin wherein you get SAC Analytics Cloud, again, a different tab in your PowerPoint. And here, once you do that, you can basically embed the SSC charts or widgets into your analytics of the Microsoft PowerPoint. And basically, you can easily find added stories and associate widget filters, filter which data as required, and add widgets to your PowerPoint slide. And an NCP underscore licenses is required to access data with SAP Analytics Cloud add-in for Microsoft PowerPoint. So basically, you need to have, of course, SAP Analytics Cloud license, then only can utilize the data in this PowerPoint. And coming to next slides, we talk about scripting. So basically, scripting is another way, advanced way in which you can modify the behavior of the different widgets in SAC. So as we discussed earlier, once you're in the edit mode, you go to your outline section on your left hand side, and you come down, and you see you have global settings, which is just used for navigation bookmarks. Then you come to your pages, and each page. So in this particular right hand side dashboard, in each page you can have these various drop downs or text. You can click on FX. So when you click on FX, it opens up a scripting page on the right hand side. So here it is using an on initialization particular scripting. So basically what it means is when the page initializes or loads, there will be the script will be will be coming into action. And the scripting can be used either to make it more simple. So basically you can use a script to simplify a dashboard, whereas the user cannot see any options on top. It just sees a plain dashboard data. Or you can make it more advanced, whether he clicks on a chart, it automatically opens another chart. Those kind of features you can use for scripting. Scripting uses a subset of JavaScript, and you can also press Control Space to it'll show you available functions, and it can also speed up your script writing. It will just prompt you what all you can use, and it has a built-in auto complete, as well as it helps you to check your syntax check as you write also. So that was all about scripting. And then now we come to the next big topic, that's planning. So, what is planning? We had touched upon it. So, basically, planning is all about setting strategic goals for your business and then determining how to meet those goals by creating annual budgets, tracking progress in forecasts, and simulating scenarios to find new opportunities. These plans are formed by projecting historical data, as known as actuals, and into the future by gathering input from different departments, by considering trends, risks, and opportunities in the market. Planning is more of a collaborative effort. So SAC provides many options and utilities to make the entire planning process run smoothly. For example, if you have automobile company and you want to plan for your future car sales, then your strategy department, your finance department, your expense department, all they have to come in to collaborate with each other to make that happen. So this is collaborative enterprise planning, and there are major steps into it where you have to prepare what do you call a plan, and then you once you prepare, you make a planning model, you see the drivers, various parameters what are driving the plan, and you that includes your master and actual data. Then you schedule from the calendar, the planning calendar, the basic the process and task to particular reviews and planners. And then there's an option for predict, where you have time series forecast and planning proposition. Then it goes to your planner, and they can import and do an adjustment, and they can distribute, and they can allocate, they can use advanced formulas, and then you can visualize review data dashboards and make it actual versus budget comparison. And then they finally finalize, submit data, and they can lock the data, and of course forward the data. So this is in a whole what is possible in planning. And you can of course finally share the stories, run discussions, enter comments. Let us quickly go. So planning is a huge topic in itself, and it's quite vast. But for the purpose of this learning journey, we are limiting these topics to only for the certification, only these topics. So please only refer to these topics and the ones provided in your learning journey for planning. So coming to what is data entry. So data entry is basically based around the table where you can type a relative absolute values into the system, and you can copy cell values along with other data and aggregates, and you can plan the level of hierarchy, and the data will be automatically rolled down to the lowest level. So that is like basic data, and any entry of data is called data entry in as planning. Next, we come to a topic important called version management. So this is something, version management is only available for import model or a planning model. So basically, when you are planning for all possibilities, it helps to understand different plans relate to each other and your actual data. Version management helps you complete tasks such as, like variance analysis, like you can compare actual versus planned data. And it also makes sure that your working forecast is on a budget, and you can also quickly share, publish different scenarios without losing sight of original data, introducing unnecessary complexity. You can work on your own data until you're ready to publish. So you work on a particular version, and when you're ready to publish, then you publish that version, and you can do a redo, undo, and also you have a history to your data because of the versions. And you can roll a private version back to the previous state if you need to take to a different direction. Also, revert all changes to the original value. So that's all about version management. When you come to data locking, so data locking, you can choose different sections of a particular model, and you can lock the data for a section of people, and it can delegate to some owners, and they can also lock it. And this in this manner, you're restricting the state where only the owners can edit it, and you can schedule changes to data locks in the Canada. So this is all about their locking, and this is private versioning. Of course, this is another type of versioning we spoke in version management, where you can create your own private versioning to better uh, version the data. And then coming to data actions, you can basically perform some sequence of options in data actions, such as copy paste operations. You can allocation steps and advanced formulas. So on a click of a button, you can tell the system to copy data from here, allocate the values, and then apply some advanced formulas in a sequence. And you can also model complex processes such as cash flow planning, depreciation, carry forward operations, and you can build these formulas using Visual Editor. And you don't require scripting for data actions. This is a particular Visual Editor, and although scripting engine is available for fine tuning, but you can always use a visual editor for this data actions. Okay, and to make more the data actions more flexible and easy to update, you can also add parameters that can be set while designing or running the data action. You can also run other data actions such as steps within your data actions, letting quickly reuse common calculations. And planning users can also run data actions in a story, and alternatively, you can also use standard to schedule them to run automatically. Next, we have something called validation rules. So validation rules let you define varied member combination across dimensions to prevent improper data entry and planning operations in story based on a specific planning model. For this dimension, you define a dimension combination rule. Only the member combinations that you specify are allowed, and combinations can pass validations. For example, you might want to increase the sales of a certain product in specific location. You create a validation rule between the product dimension and location dimension member. Planning users can do planning only for the allowed combination of products and locations. Next, we have validation tree, validation driver tree. Let me quickly discuss. So what is validation driver tree? Basically, you can basically, when you are planning, when you want to basically check something which is like you want to some driver based planning and turn it into a streamlined visualization for running simulations. So when I say driver based planning, based on certain sales of a how when you change a certain budget of your product, how it's going to impact your final sales or future campaign. So in this kind of basically visualized form, you take a driver-based planning model and turn it into a streamlined visualization for running simulations and make strategic decisions. For example, you might be discussing how vulnerable your business is raw materials prices and which product line to grow over the next few years to increase profitability. The value driver tree allows you to book values to drivers and inputs, visualize the flow of the value through accounts, and also see the overall impact on KPIs and in the future. You create value driver trees directly in the story, and you the option to add nodes automatically based on the model account structures can help you get started quickly. But you can also still add customized nodes as needed. Features like undo, redo, search, and drag, drop, and node linking can also make it easy to get started. Again, that is all about validation driver trees. And then let's come to the structured allocations. What are structured allocations? Basically, you build structured allocation to establish reusable steps for allocation costs, such as allocating the cost of IT support actors across the different departments by support hours used. Example, or the cost of travel across different product groups based on cost of living rates for customer location. So you basically are categorizing your allocations across different departments, and you build those allocation steps in a visual tool that does not require scripting expertise, but that covers a range of different allocation workflows. And of course, you have these task flows wherein you have guided playlists where you can create a story and count for the data table. You can work with data simulation features, and you can also use the disaggregation feature and publish private data options in these task flows. So please do go through them, but due to, of course, lack of time, I'm not going to open this. Yeah. Next, we have basic and augmented analysis in SSC. What do we have in augmented analysis in SSC? So basically, we are going to discuss 2 points, of course, search to insight or just ask, which I think we showed you in the system demo, where you find the search to insight and just ask. It is basically conversational analysis that allows users to get answers they need. You can just ask your question to get results, and you can click and further into for more insights. Whereas Smart Predict, it brings the power of machine learning business users to enable them to bring trust and actionable predictions without an intervention of a data scientist. Okay. And also you can create one or several predictive models that can automatically learn from your historical data and find the best relationships or patterns of behavior that can easily generate predictions for future events, values, and trends. For example, predictive forecasting takes different values into account and also looks at trends, cycles, and fluctuations in your data. Smart Predict can be used in acquired data. It is support for data sets, planning models, but not for analytical models. And live is data is only supported by SAP HANA on premise. Apart from these two, which is Just Ask and Smart Predict, you have two more, which is Smart Discovery and Smart Insight. They are only available in classic design stories, and they're not included in this learning journey. So the purpose of this certification learning journey, Smart Discovery and Smart Insight is not included over here. Okay, so let's go next. So again, this slide is talking about just ask again how we can use it. You can leverage natural language, search through metadata, defense domains, and of course, it is automatically enabled with all acquired models. Live models only need to be toggled on in the extra step required. Yeah, let's move on, and it shows you what all you can do. You can either query, you can do a filter, you can do a rank. These are the basic commands you can give various ways how you want to visualize using Just Ask. Again, we saw in the live system demo, these are the places where you need to click on the bulb icon and you can select the model and you can do that. And also there's a task flow. You can always check the guided playlist on how to do this. Next, we come to collaboration features. So collaboration features is nothing but discussion. So you can have a discussion. You can the discussion feature to easily collaborate with the teams and users. And also we have a commenting. So on each chart, you can see your right, as you can see on my right hand side, you can click on a chart. You can click on add comment, and you can add comment to for your colleague to either check this data or some other person to review this data. This can be done on normal dashboards as well as planning dashboards. This can be done. There is a limit where you can put the comment only up to 1,000 characters, and the comment itself also can be exported to a file from the story. And the Analytics Cloud keeps track of the commenting history. And you can go to this task flow where it talks about how to you can provide the feedback using discussions and comments. Right. Coming to the next important topic is calendar. So calendar is vastly used for planning to create different types of tasks and assign people to work on them and others to view the work. You can use process to manage multiple tasks, and the calendar again provides the following features. You can collaborate with your colleague, you can set different track status, you can assign reviews, you can add reminders, you can view due dates for a particular planning task which has been given to you. And the tasks, you have general task, review task, composite task. And again, you can go into detail in these task floor options, the guided options which you have on this slide. And I'll ask my colleague to publish a poll. So that was for the SAC part. Before the Datasphere starts, let's look at the poll. So I hope the poll is uh, Priya, can we have the poll? Can we launch the poll, Priya? Or
Yeah, Shadan, just a moment, please.
yeah, just have to press relaunch. I think it was launched once.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay. I would like you guys to just try out the poll. We'll give you a minute. I hope everyone. This is just to test you if you can recall some information from what you have discussed. Of course, all these um, goals were discussed. Okay. Okay, now let me quickly end the poll. So 1 minute is done. Right. Oh, some more people. Okay. Let me give just 10 more seconds, then I'm going to end the poll. I can see some activity going on. Okay. So I'm now going to end the poll. Yeah. Okay. And so I can see so the results. Yeah, you're right for the first question, where you can adjust the size and the layout. It is in fact responsive. As we discussed, canvas is you cannot adjust the size as per the device. You can only adjust the size as per the current laptop or device you're working on. So yeah, the first answer is correct, responsive. Scheduling, as we discussed, only three external recipients can be added. So three is the correct answer. Whereas if you want to add an SAP Analytics Cloud recipients, there is no limit to it. And then, of course, live data connection, we discussed that the security part can only be defined at the source system when using a live connection. You cannot do it in SSE whenever it's a live connection. In import connection, you can do it in the SSE tenant itself, the security part. The data source will not require modification, and then yes. So for Datasphere, as we discussed, you don't need to create a model separately in SSE. It can be directly consumed through live connection from Datasphere, the analytical model. And the scripting language, of course, it is JavaScript. And the working modes of a story is basically three. That is presentation mode and edit mode and view mode. I think we had also discussed. So there is no mode called story or data. It is just edit, presentation, and view. And of course, this is another topic where there is compass simulation is used for what you call planning. And yes, you're right. And you can use the time series simulations together. Compass solutions provide answers where you don't know probably the impact. There is uncertainty. And the eighth point where you need to create one or more models and learn from each other. Yes, I see. Yeah. That is correct, but I got most of you got it wrong. It's Smart Predict, where you can create one or more models that learn from your historical data. That is called Smart Predict. And now with that, so basically, I'm going to show the correct answers to all, and let me stop sharing, and I would pass it on to my next colleague, which is Sandeep, who's going to take care of Datasphere. So over to you, Sandeep.
Thank you, Shadan. Let me share my screen. Shadan, you can stop sharing.
Yeah, I'm stop sharing.
Still, I can see your screen, Shadan.
Okay, let me. Can you click on share from your side? It should automatically come up. Um,
No, it is not coming up actually.
Hookpa, can we? help here, Pogba? You there? I think we can. Okay.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Partner Get Certified Academy for Business Data Cloud. And I am Sandeep. I work at SAP, and where we help customers to implement use cases in SAP Datasphere and in BDC. So in this session, I'll walk you through the different topics related to the Datasphere. So these will help you to prepare for your certification exam and will also help you in real world projects. So I hope it will be an engaging session and interesting session. So let's begin with the agenda. So the agenda for today's DataSphere session would be the identifying the strategy for DataSphere, then preparing the landscape, then modeling in the SAP DataSphere, and then consuming models with the SAP Analytics Cloud. So starting with the first unit, which is identifying the strategy for SAP DataSphere. So these are the overall capabilities of Datasphere. Datasphere offers a comprehensive platform to support a business data fabric architecture by integrating various data management and analytical functions. And if I talk about the key components, discovery, consumption, sharing, and self-service, these are the tools for data discovery, repositories, and marketplaces to enhance self-service. Then in the governance, it provides you capabilities for data cataloging, metadata management, lineage, and privacy. Then for business semantic, it supports entity import and gives business users self-service tool to create their own data models. Then in the modeling, it provides a rich relational and analytical model with lifecycle and access management. Then it has got a integration with a lot of other third-party tools and SAP as well as non-SAP tools to do data integration and preparation. And along with this, you have SAP BW. Uh, Move and hybrid program as well, which is supported along with the Datasphere, which facilitates extending your on-prem BW scenarios to Datasphere, and as well as you can do greenfield modeling within Datasphere using BW bridge option. And then on top of these sits the SAC layer, analytics and planning consumption layer, which my colleague Shadan has already discussed. All these models, what you create inside Datasphere, can be used inside SAC for analytics and planning layer. Not only SAC, you can also consume it with other third-party tools, which we will see. Along with this, it also integrates with the other third-party data partners such as Databricks, Confluence, Collabora, DataRobot, and Google Cloud, and which enriches its ecosystem further. So this is the overall architecture of the data sphere. And on top, as we have discussed, sits a SAC for analytics and planning. And then you can have your third-party tools as well, which can consume the artifacts of the data sphere, such as Power BI and Tableau via OData service. And then starting with the key components of the data sphere here, first is your data and business modeling, which provides you tool for creating analytical and business models. Then you have catalog. It provides metadata and data asset discovery across systems. Then you have data marketplace. It gives you ready-made access or easy access to the ready-made data products in the marketplace. Then you have semantic onboarding, which simplifies the integration of existing data structures, provides semantic enrichment to your data. And then you have space management, where you can secure and isolate environment for different teams and use cases and do administrative tasks for the related to the space. Then administration and security manages access, security, and governance here. And then we have data federation and replication. We would be discussing about these two terms in detail in the upcoming slides. And what is federation and what is replication, and you can do both of them very effectively in the data sphere. And then data transformation. Datasphere has got a wide range of transformation capabilities to transform the data according to your business need. And then, as I have talked about the connectivity, you can connect Datasphere with the wide range of sources, whether it be SAP or non-SAP sources such as S4HANA, or SAP BW, or other non-SAP sources such as BigQuery, Snowflake, etc. And then you have some optional component like SAP BW Bridge, which I talked earlier. If you want to reuse the BW investments, or want to do modeling inside the BW system or data sphere, then you have BW Bridge, and then you have SAP HANA Cloud as well. You can do native modeling inside the data sphere in the underlying HANA database of it. And then you have CLI API, which is command line interface, and APIs to programmatically manage and automate tasks within the data sphere. And this open data ecosystem we already discussed, it can connect with other data partners as well. So this is a data warehousing strategy for SAP Data Cloud. Since BW is in the market for quite a long time, since 1998, and it is used by large customer base. And going forward, BW for HANA is a strategic solution of SAP for on-prem or private cloud deployments. So the customers who are already on BW for HANA can make use of it, and they can work in a hybrid mode with the data sphere to explore the self-service abilities of the data sphere in the hybrid scenarios. And since BW for HANA is supported till 2040, so both systems can coexist and run in parallel. And for those customers who have no BW print at all, they are only using ERP systems. They can move their ECC to S4 HANA systems, and then they can connect to DataSphere, and then DataSphere connect as a data warehousing solution for them. For the customers who are on a 7.x versions or the older versions of BW, the recommended approach is to do object migration to BW for HANA, but still 7.5 version of BW is supported. But the condition is you have to move to private cloud, which we will see in the upcoming BDC sections. So yeah, this is the overall data warehousing strategy, what it looks like in parallel with the BW systems. So this is the positioning of Datasphere and Business Data Cloud. Since SAP Datasphere is a central component for data modeling in SAP Business Data Cloud, therefore it plays a pivotal role in entire BDC framework. So SAP Datasphere will continue to be developed by SAP, especially to support the growing use cases for BDC. You see these two data product A and B at the bottom. So these are the source systems or the data sources which feed in data to the data sphere as a part of BDC. So the object store here refer to the storage layer of these products where structured data objects reside. So we'll talk about these data products and object store in the BDC section. And these product feed data into SAP Datasphere either virtually or via replicated approach. And then on top of this, you can create semantically rich models. You can enrich your data with the business semantics, and making it easier for the business users and the tools to understand and use. And then you can also apply row level authorization and secure your data according to the requirement. Uh, Then once you have your models ready in the data sphere, then always SSE is there to consume these models, and you can consume these models directly in the SSE or other third-party tools such as Power BI or Tableau. So then coming to the next section, which is preparing the landscape. So first, we need to understand what is a space inside a data sphere. So space is a secure area that an administrator creates. So it's a logical database which administrator creates for a particular user or for a particular team. In this, members can acquire, prepare, and model the data. So the administrator allocates the disk storage and the in-memory storage for a particular space, and can limit how much memory and how many thread its statement can consume. So these are the different tasks, different use cases of a space. It provides isolation for metadata objects in the space resources. And then you can define storage quota limit and control resource usage and define workload class setting per space. And then you can assign users to the particular space. Only the members get access to that to see that content of the space. And then yeah, you can also maintain space specific source system connections and common time dimensions as well. And then the models since you are allocated to one or a particular space, then the models what you create reside or are local to that particular space. It is not visible to the users who are assigned to the other space. But this doesn't mean that this cannot be shared. There is a sharing mechanism provided in the space where where the two spaces can interact and the data can be shared among different spaces. So it enables sharing of data and currency conversion settings with other spaces as well. So this visual shows how SAP Datasphere enables a modular, scalable, and governed approach to enterprise data management. So where each uh, business unit works within their own governed space. Let's say your finance department, sales department, HR department has their own space, and they work in their own designated space. And you have all these data sources, whether it is SAP or non-SAP data sources, feeding in data to these individual spaces. And you see these arrows here. So these spaces can securely share data across departments to support cross-functional analytics and reporting requirements. And yeah, this is how spaces communicate or share data among themselves. Then now let's talk about the integration options what we have with the DataSphere. So Datasphere provide a large set of built-in extractor to access data from wide range of sources, whether it is on-prem or cloud, or whether it is SAP or non-SAP. So they allow user assigned to a space to use object from connected remote systems as source to acquire, prepare, and access data from those sources in SAP Datasphere. On the left-hand side, there is a list of several integration options which are available in the data sphere. The first one is built-in extra connectors. So there are pre-configured connector within SAP Datasphere to link with the common data sources such as S4HANA, BW, or cloud databases. So there are pre-built connectors which are available in the SAP Datasphere. And then you have data marketplace, which is a platform which allows user to discover and subscribe to third party data sources. And then you have open connectors which have tool or API that enable integration with wide variety of non SAP systems and services. And then we have talked about BW bridge, which is a BW for HANA system enabled for DataSphere, where you can make use of the standard extractors and the data sources which are available as a part of BW system. And then you have external tooling, which is a support for integration with a third-party tool for analytics, data science, or data governance. For example, Datasphere can send data to Databricks for AI/ML scenarios in BDC, which we'll see in the upcoming sections. So then let's talk about the federation of the replication options within the Datasphere. What is federation? Federation means leave the data in the source system and access it remotely on the real-time basis in the data sphere. So there is no real data movement involved in the federation. Only the data is accessed at the runtime based on your data querying. How you query the data, it will be displayed to you at the runtime. So no data persists in the data sphere layer. So remote tables are the entities which make use of these federation options. You can create the remote table on various sources and hyperscalers to access data remotely. And this is called as a federation option. So there is an option in the remote table to switch between a federated and replicated approach. Replicated approach means the data will reside in the data sphere. If the data volume is high and it takes time to federate the data from the source system, then there is always a possibility to replicate in the data sphere. And there are different options we'll see in the upcoming slide how we can do that. And then we have different kind of flows as well which helps to replicate the data within the data sphere. which is application flow, transformation flow, and the data flow. And this is covered as a part of agenda for the upcoming slides. And then remote tables, as we have talked, they point the data to the external system without copying the data to Datasphere. Uh, so they look similar to the local tables in the Datasphere, but they do not hold any data inside the Datasphere. Each time the query is executed, the data is transferred and displayed to you in the query runtime. So you can also filter the data according to your need, and you can select the columns what you want. And if, as I mentioned, if there is a requirement to persist the data, then you can transparently switch from remote access to snapshot or real-time replication to persist the data. Then it can do change data capture to store the data inside Datasphere. So the models which are created on top of remote table are unaffected by this change. You can simply change between federate and replicate option between the remote tables. So you can schedule these snapshots via task chain. You can start, stop, pause, resume all these snapshot or real-time applications anytime you want. And then coming to the data flow. So data flow feature in SAP Datasphere provides the ability to do ETL processes inside the Datasphere. So unlike the remote tables, what we had discussed earlier, which apply the transformation at the query time, because the remote table doesn't store data in the data sphere. So the transformations or any kind of logic what you apply is executed at the runtime when you query that data. So sometimes it becomes important that it takes time due to huge volume of data or due to some complex logic, then it becomes important to do ETL directly in the data sphere. So data flow perform transformations and persist the result in the designated target table. So they extract the data, then they transform, and then they load the data inside a target table inside the data sphere space. So these flows also allow operations such as appending new entries or deleting specific record from the target tables. And and it also gives you capabilities to do transformation, whether it can be SQL transformation or field-based transformation. And if you have more custom logic to be implemented, then you can also write a Python script inside a data flow to do the transformation. And it supports extraction from SAP as well as non-SAP source systems. And it can also extract data from a local table within Datasphere and then do ETL for that as well. So yeah, so and one point to be noted here, data flow always do a full load or the initial load. There are no delta capabilities present for this data flow. So which means it places a significant load on the source system when the data volume is high. So it is advisable to use ELT mechanism. So this is a ETL mechanism. So it is advisable to use ELT mechanism going forward whenever you have a kind of a huge volume of data and you don't have delta capabilities for those. So the first type of object for the ELT paradigm in the data sphere is replication flow. So as the name suggests, it first extracts, then loads data to the data sphere data targets, and then the transformation part is taken care at the later data stages. So replication flow also supports delta capabilities, which is different from data flows, which doesn't support this. And then there are options to do mass data replications in parallel. You can schedule multiple parallel loads from multiple sources to multiple targets. And it support a wide range of sources such as SAP sources and non-SAP sources. SAP sources include S4HANA, your BW HANA, or even from other tenant of Datasphere, and non-SAP sources such as MS SQL, Amazon S3, Google Cloud, etc. And similarly, it can assign data to a wide range of targets as well. So one point to be noted here, if in the sources, if the source is a table, table should have a unique key. or a primary key into it to support the delta functionalities. If there are no primary key in the table in the source side, then a technical column is automatically added at the last, which contains a unchangeable unique identifier for each record to support these delta capabilities. Then let's talk about replication flow use cases. These are different use cases, how replication flow can be used inside a data sphere. First use case can be inbound data movement, wherein you want to bring data to the data sphere from some other source. And then outbound data movement, where you want to send data from data sphere to some other target. And then pass-through option, wherein a data sphere act as a middleware, and it takes data from some other source outside data sphere, and it acts as a middleware and send data to some target outside the data sphere. So then comes your transformation flow. The transformation flow in SAP Datasphere is used to perform complex data transformations across multiple table or sources and write results into a new target table. So it persists to transform data, unlike views which are virtual. So it persists the data into a local table, and so basically it is used to combine, filter, enrich, and aggregate data from multiple sources. And so designing wise, there is a graphical editor to use this tool, which is a no code or low code interface, and then it can be scheduled or triggered manually. And source type, it supports our remote table and local table views and snapshots. And target is always a local table inside the data sphere. And yeah, so since the replication flow doesn't have a transformation capabilities inside it, so it has to be used in conjunction with the transformation flow. If you want to apply any transformation on the data set, then after the replication flow, you can use the transformation flow to do those transformations. Then coming to the modeling in DataSphere, so there are different built-in extractor, built-in editors inside DataSphere, which give no-code to pro-code options for the developers. So starting with the graphical and the scripted view, it enables modeling through visual drag and drop options, or a scripted view where you can write a SQL script to create a view on top of your local table or remote tables. So then you have intelligent lookup. It facilitates data harmonization across sources, and it has an interactive environment to match and merge entities. I will talk about this intelligent lookup in the upcoming slides. And then you have analytical model and a business model, where in the analytical model, it supports multi-dimensional analytics, and you can enrich your model further with your hierarchies, measure, filter, and parameters. And it supports seamless integration with SAC. And if a business requirement is there, then you can also create a business model on top of analytical model, which enables business user to build logical models which are independent of the technical layers, underlying technical layers. So basically, this business model is a designated tool for self-service users for the business users, and business users can define semantic layers without interfering with the underlying data structures here. Then, starting with the data builder. So Datasphere offers multiple modeling capabilities that addresses different user group, from business analytics analysts or with deep business understanding to tech-savvy developers and power users. So in the data layer, it contains the basic modeling of the underlying data sources and the tables. Like you can configure your tables and views inside it, and a related set of tools are available in the data builder section accordingly. And here developers and modelers can use table views, intelligent lookup to combine, clean, and prepare data. And from here itself, you can also expose it to SAC via OData service. But then it is recommended to create an analytical model on top of it. It is intended to be a top level model that combines, renames, and defines the underlying artifact with the further calculation and semantic information before exposing it to SAC. So then, as I talked earlier, some customer have requirement to have more complex SAP business layer model instead of analytical model, to map their data builder model to a new model with the business related terms. They can create business model on top of the analytical model. Uh, uh, so uh, these business model can still be created, but it is no longer recommended by SAP to create a business model in DataSphere going forward. So it is recommended to replace them with analytical model or SAC model directly. So these are the different data builder artifact types. Some of them we have already covered, like data flow we have seen, and then replication flow we have seen, then we have seen transformation flow, and we'll talk about intelligent lookup and task chains in the upcoming slides. And then we have seen how tables such as remote table and local table and a graphical view are the view graphical and SQL view are the view to consume these local and remote table inside SAC. We'll also see about them in the upcoming agenda. And for these three data builder artifacts, there's an option to set the semantic usage in the data sphere. So what is semantic usage here? So it is a property which defines the object type for the business data model. So guiding the semantic type for specific column like currency, date, and amount. So so there are different semantic usage which you can set for these three artifacts. Different semantics are like fact, dimension, text, or relation data set. Fact means if you have any measure present in your data set, then you can qualify it as a fact. If you have a if you have master data attribute used to analyze other entities, then you can mark it as a dimension. And then for text information, you can mark it as a text. And for parent-child relationship kind of data, you can mark it as a hierarchy. Yeah, we'll see these things in the upcoming agenda. Let's start with the intelligent lookup. So intelligent lookup, it is a tool in SAP that helps you to match and combine data from different sources. Even if the data isn't perfectly aligned, well, let's say, for example, if you have city names spelled slightly different in the two data sources, data coming from two different sources, this tool help clean and match them intelligently. So what you can do with the intelligent lookup, you can define rules to match the data, see the results immediately, and use the clean match data in the further data models. So what are the key features of intelligent lookup? It provides interactive environment for mapping, which means business user can easily set up rule to match the data. It is a no-code a tool which with user-friendly interface, and you can see the matching results right away. And then the second feature is create mapping only once. So this feature allows you to define the how the data is mapped only once. So once you have matched the thing, then it is stored in something called as a pairing table inside it, and then you don't have to redo it every time you map it for the other cases. And then you have mapping automation through rules. You can automate the matching process using rules, and if needed, user can tweak or fix the individual records, and it can run automatically on a schedule or be triggered manually. And then full integration with the other models. As I've stated, the final harmonized data is stored just like any other model data, and you can reuse it across other reports, analytics, or other business processes. So in short, intelligent lookup helps make messy or mismatched data clean, connected, and usable across systems, and without needing to write complex code as we used to do in previous tools. So, so this is a graphical view. The image is slightly distorted. So basically, graphical view is is an intuitive way to import a transform model data using no code or low code editor with powerful function for data manipulation or optimization. So there are two ways to create a view. One is graphical and scripted view. You can create on top of remote and local tables, and then you can, based on the semantic type, you can set them as fact, dimension, text, or hierarchy based on your semantic usage type. And then coming to task chain and scheduling, uh, uh, SAP Datasphere task chain allows you to group multiple tasks and execute them either manually or via a schedule. uh, uh, there are certain key feature you can align them in linear fashion or in parallel fashion. So those who are from BW background, they can relate it with the process chain what we have in the BW systems. So in a similar way, these task chain help you to execute the task in a sequential or parallel fashion. Then it also gives you functionality to send email notifications once the task chain is finished. And then different task types can be included in it, such as remote table, views, and data flows, which you can add inside it. So what are the different use cases of task chain? First one is your remote table application. You can schedule it via task chain. Then second one is your creation or refresh of view persistency, uh, and then execution of the data flows, and then running the application and transformation flow in sequence, and then running open SQL schema procedures using task chain. So all of these you can do it via task chain. And then coming to analytical models, once you have built the basic views and build the foundation of your data, then they are ready to be consumed inside the analytical model. And you can build complex and powerful data model easily to answer business questions quickly and efficiently. And it helps analyze data using ready-made components such as measure, filter, hierarchies, and more. And you don't have to do anything from scratch here. So it support advanced feature like custom calculation and filters, and it also help in special handling for total and exceptions. Then you can do currency conversion here, and it also support multi language here, and it provides also security, or you can define row level security at the analytical model level. And once analytical model is created, then you can directly consume inside it in the SAC via live connection, or you can also create a OData service on top of analytical model to consume inside third-party applications such as Power BI or Tableau or other reporting tools. So now, with this, we have covered most of the topics or most of the artifacts of uh, Datasphere. Now, let's quickly cover the how we can consume these model inside SAC. So as my colleague Shadan has covered, these all SAC and Datasphere are tightly integrated with each other, and all these models what you create inside Datasphere can be used inside SAC, whether it can be normal analytics or it is planning. And if you want to use it inside Excel, then you have Excel add-in available for SAC, where you can directly install that add-in inside Excel, and you can consume your models in Excel, making use of the Excel functionalities. So this is a this is how you consume your models for analytics in SAC via live connection. The analytical models, what you create, or the perspectives, what you create on top of uh, business models, they can be directly consumed by a live connection in SAC. As you can see in the image, a single DataSphere tenant can connect to multiple SAC tenants and vice versa. And if you need more information around this, you can refer to this SAP node, which we have embedded here in this slide. And for Microsoft for add-in, again, it can be consumed via live connection. And for more information, you can refer to this SAP node and these links embedded in the slide. For planning purpose, you can make use of OData to consume these models for actual thing. For the actual data which reside in the analytical model and views, you can create a OData service to consume in the planning model. And then once the planning is done, if you want to push the data back to Datasphere, then it can be done via remote table replication, or you can create a data flow directly from SHA to Datasphere. For this bidirectional framework, you can refer to this link for more details around this area. So this is Datasphere in a nutshell. These are the different areas what we have talked about. We have seen what are spaces, how they can communicate with each other. We have seen data builder options, different artifacts inside the data builder section. Then you can create business models as well on top of the data models. And then there are a wide range of connections or the wide range of systems which can connect to Datasphere. And then you have SAC sitting on the top to consume all these models coming out of the Datasphere. And then we have seen replication and federation options with the Datasphere. So yeah, this is how the overall Datasphere functionality looks like. Then with this, now we would be able to answer why Datasphere, and these all features we have discussed in this presentation. And since Datasphere is a next generation data platform for SAP designed to simplify unify data management across hybrid and cloud landscapes. So it provides real-time governed data access to various systems, various SAP and non-SAP systems with built-in data modeling and transformation capabilities. Datasphere enables business user and data professional to create trusted business-ready data products within Datasphere. And then coming to the roadmap, you can always refer to this roadmap explorer to see what are the upcoming features in the next quarterly releases in the Datasphere. You can always refer to link. And for more information around this content, you can refer to the tutorials. All these links have been embedded in this slide, and from where this content has been prepared. And for all the SAP notes and other blogs, what we have discussed throughout, uh, all these links you can find on this particular slide. So now before we go into the poll section, I just quickly want to walk you through the system, how the actual data sphere looks like. And I'll show you in the system how the different options, what we have discussed so far, how they look like. I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see a screen.
Yeah, so this is the landing page of the Datasphere, and where you will find your username, and you will see the apps which are there on your home screen. You can always customize this home screen to enable what all things you want to see on the home screen. Okay, you can always customize the thing. And then on the left hand side, you will see a lot of series of applications which are there. You can launch all these applications from left hand side panel. So starting with the first one, which is Repository Explorer. So this is a repository of all the objects what it is created inside the Datasphere. Not only yours, but by the others as well. You can see all these objects inside this Repository Explorer. So you can filter on the different criteria. Let's say if I want to see only the analytical model which are created in the Datasphere tenant, so you can click on this. It will show you all these analytical models which are created against the spaces against which they are deployed. Okay, and similarly, like you can browse through different other uh, objects what you want to see. And then this is a marketplace data product. So these data products are ready to use data sets provided in the data sphere that can be discovered or subscribed here, and you can link them to your own data models from here. And these are ready-made data sets available to you, and you can download and subscribe to them. Let's say if you want to have human capital or human resource data, you can search in the search bar, and you can go through the documentation of it and see if that particular data product suits your requirement, and you can use that. And then coming to semantic onboarding. So this semantic onboarding in Datasphere is a process to automatically extract and apply business semantics from a source system. It basically enhances the technical data with the more information. It adds the business context to your business to your technical data. Let's say you extract a field called as works, which is basically a plant field in the S4HANA. Then with this semantic onboarding, it will add a semantic enrichment to it. It will add the name to that field called as plant, so as like you can use it, or it has more meaning to it. Then I talked about this business builder section where business users can go and create their business models on top of the analytical models what we have created in the data sphere. So this is kind of a self-service tool for the business users. They can come here and create the business builder objects on top of it. And this is a main important section what we have discussed in detail, which is a data builder section, and which gives you option to create all these options, all these artifacts inside the data sphere, starting with the table, graphical view, SQL view. All of this you can create inside your data builder section. Then coming to the data integration monitor, so this is a central place in the data sphere which gives you a monitor to do monitoring of the replication flows, or the snapshots what you schedule for the remote tables. So all of this can be monitored here itself. So basically, all the data integration which is happening to DataSphere can be monitored in the central uh, application. Then coming to the space management, as we have seen, uh, um, here the administrator can create the spaces and allocate the memory associated with that space, whether it is disk or in memory. Then it can set the workload priority. Then it can associate database user with that space, and it can add users who can access that space. And So all of these administrative tasks related to space can be done at this screen. Then coming to translation, it helps in doing multilingual things. If you create the artifacts in English, and then other team wants to view in the German, then you can do this translation here to have multilingual support to your artifacts. And then a packages screen. So packages are kind of a folder or container which help in grouping different type of object, like what we have info area in BW, which help you to group different type of object, such as your data model, flow, connection, or remote table, application flow, etc. You can club them in a single package, which helps you to do transport management effectively, or content sharing effectively, or if you want to access the control, if you want to control the access, then it can be done effectively using the packages. And then coming to the data sharing cockpit, this is a central feature which allows user to manage and monitor the sharing of the data products. If you want if you want to publish your data products to the outside world, then you can publish your data products or collaborate with the outside world. You can do it from here. So yeah, this is more of everything what you do in in a data sphere. And yeah, now coming back to our presentation. So can we have the polls flashed on, please, Shadan or Priya?
Yeah, just a moment, please.
So based on the content what we have discussed for the data sphere, so these are a few of the questions which you can give a try, which will help you to gauge your knowledge and understanding into this area. And I'll give you a minute to perform this, and then we'll discuss the answers of it. Okay, I'm ending the poll, and I would be discussing the answers to this. So the first question was related to the spaces. Spaces are decoupled but are open for flexible access. So yeah, this statement is true. Spaces give you an individual logical partition in the data sphere to perform your task, but it is also possible to share data among different spaces. So the second question was SAP Datasphere connections are responsible for connecting SAP Datasphere and SAC. So this statement is false because the connections for SAC are directly created inside SAC. So the connections what we create within Datasphere are responsible to bring in data or to within Datasphere. And coming to the third question, which of the following option will duplicate data to cloud under Datasphere? So basically, it is talking about the replicate options, which all options give you choices to do replication inside the Datasphere. So the first one is import a source as a remote table. Since the remote table does the federation of data, so it doesn't actually duplicate the data. So this option is not true. Then import a source as a remote table and schedule replication. Yes, once you schedule a replication for the remote table, then the data persistency is there. Uh, so for third option, graphical view based on the remote table and persistent view data. So for views, this option is not there. It is only there for the remote tables. And then user data flow. Yes, data flow is a ETL tool which is used to do replication in DataSphere. And then again, the replication flow is again a ELT tool to do replication inside DataSphere. And then SAP recommends to use fact dimension hierarchy text as semantic user or modeled entities. Yes, this statement is true for for tables, scripted views, and graphical views, you have to set the semantic tags in there, what kind of semantic usage of that particular artifact is. Yeah, with this, I end here DataSphere session here. Thank you for listening to me. And now I hand it over to my colleague Priya for the BDC session. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep. I will quickly share my screen. Okay, so we have seen the details around SAP Analytics Cloud from Shadan, and we have seen the details around Datasphere from Sandeep. And now we will dive into rest of the components of SAP Business Data Cloud. So this is what we are going to cover in next 45 minutes. We will look at the architecture and the basic block of Business Data Cloud, that is foundation services and data products, followed by an important component of Business Data Cloud, which is Business Data Cloud Cockpit. And we will also understand the role of Datasphere and Databricks and SAC within context of Business Data Cloud. And we will also discuss the details around BW integration with BDC, and we will also talk about intelligent applications. First, let's have a look at the high-level architecture of SAP Business Data Cloud. So on the bottom part here, we have the LOB applications, that is SAP Managed Source Systems. Then on top of it, we have the foundation service layer. Okay, so in this foundation service layer, we are providing a functionality to the LOB application owners to define their semantically rich data products. Okay, so the foundation services provides and manages standard SAP data products. It will also provide the storage space that is called the object store, and it is based on HANA Cloud Data Lake files. So basically, we are going to replicate the data from the LOB applications and persist it in the object store of the foundation service. Then we have another component, SAP Datasphere, that we utilize to browse the data products that are provided by our different source systems. And then we will use the catalog of Datasphere to install the data products. And with the installation of data products, the data will start replicating from the foundation services to the local tables in Datasphere. Also, we will use the modeling capabilities of SAP Datasphere to create semantically rich data models. Then you see Joule and knowledge graph. So these are the new features that are planned to be released in upcoming months in Datasphere. And please note that all the existing functionalities of the SAP Datasphere will remain as is. So suppose if we want to bring the data from customer managed source systems and non-SAP source systems that are available at the customer's landscape, we can utilize the native integration capabilities of Datasphere, and we can utilize the data for analytics or for AI/ML use cases. Also, there's a possibility customers can create their own data products in SAP Datasphere. So you see the custom data products, right? So we have also a separate embedded object store sitting in the Datasphere. Okay, and that object store stores the custom data products if the data is not available as part of the SAP standard data products. Then we also have this embedded instance of Databricks. It can be used for AI/ML use cases. Here you see the zero copy, right? The data will be shared from the foundation services or from the data sphere using Delta Share protocol, means data will not be copied to the Databricks, or rather Databricks can access the data product in a zero copy mode. And then different algorithms can be used on top of this data to achieve AI/ML scenarios. Also, you see this bidirectional sharing option here. This means Databricks can store the result of the ML algorithms into a new data product, and then it can be shared back with the data sphere. Okay. Then we are also covering in customers' BW system if the customer migrate the BW system to PCE edition, that's the private cloud edition. And once on PCE, the customer can transfer the BW data into business data cloud using this data product generator. So this will be created as custom data product and it will sit in the object store of Datasphere. This BW data can be shared further with Databricks, okay, to realize more AI ML use cases. And at last, we are providing one more entry point for Business Data Cloud, which is called Business Data Cloud Cockpit. So from Business Data Cloud Cockpit, we can browse all the available pre-delivered intelligent applications and data packages that SAP has provided. From Cockpit, we can install the intelligent applications, we can activate the data packages, browse data products, and also share data products with SAP Databricks to be able to extend them with AI and machine learning capabilities. Now, in this BDC cockpit, we can also have a look at the system landscape. So you can see what systems are connected to your BDC platform, which S4 system or which PW system or maybe a Databricks instance. So that kind of system information is also available in the BDC cockpit. So towards the end of the session, we will have a system demo. We will go through the cockpit. We will see how it looks like and navigate through one of the options. But for now, we are talking about it. We will see it soon. Also, know that the BDC landscape is also referred to as BDC formation. So, that's another new term in the BDC context. So, what is a formation? So, it is a collection of tenants or SAP systems that trust each other. Basically, it provides a unified view of all the components like your source system, your DataSphere component, your SAC, BW, Databricks, all the components that is connected together into the BDC landscape, right? So that's the BDC formation. Now, on the consumption layer, we are providing SAP Analytics Cloud for our low code, no code intelligent application development. Also, there is a possibility to develop a pro code in intelligent application that is highly customized, highly coded application using the BTP application development based on CAP programming. All right, so we also encourage open data ecosystem with BDC. So as you already know, the first set of industry-leading data and AI vendors announced with the SAP Datasphere that includes Confluent, Collabra, DataRobot, Google Cloud. So there's no change in this. These partners continue to be our strategic open data partners and will help further strengthen our business data fabric with SAP Business Data Cloud. Now with BDC, the addition is the Databricks. In future, we shall have more partners coming in. So yeah, that's the business data cloud architecture in a nutshell. We will move on to the next slides. So now we can have a look at the foundation service layer of business data cloud along with the building block of foundation services, and that is data products. Now, what is a data product? So before diving into the foundation services, let's understand what exactly the data product is. So data product is a data set that is exposed for consumption outside the boundaries of the producing application via APIs. So data products could be of type master data and transaction data. We can also define a data product for analytic consumption directly, so it's up to the owner actually to decide how they are going to define their data product and what kind of semantics they are going to provide as part of the data product. All these data products needs to be well described and documented clearly as well. So when we look at the metadata of the data product, it provides us the information about what that data product is, what are the APIs that are included in the data product, and other business semantics that is required. So basically, every data product owner has a responsibility to provide metadata of the data product using ORD format, and ORD is nothing but it's an open resource discovery. It's an open source protocol for metadata discovery that SAP have adopted for Business Data Cloud. Also, data product should be easily consumable. Basically, there are multiple consumers for data product. The metadata is consumed by metadata services like SAP Datasphere catalog or Databricks, and it should be again visible through or maybe discoverable through these cataloging applications. Now, data products can be consumed in different ways, and the main one being through delta sharing protocol. So delta sharing is widely used open protocol for secure and real-time data sharing without the need to duplicate the data, and hence it is also referred to as zero copy. So which means that there is no need to replicate the data anymore, as you can now simply share the data without copying it. And using the delta share protocol, a data provider can share its data. The data is stored in a delta lake table format. The data provider shares selected data and manages access through a delta sharing server that uses the delta sharing protocol. Here comes the data recipient or the data consumer. So it just needs to have one of the many delta sharing clients that supports this protocol. And some open source connectors have been released for this purpose, like Apache Spark or Python. And you can learn more about Delta Sharing Protocol following this website here. Okay, so now the role of Foundation Service, we'll talk about it. And the role of Foundation Service is to generate the SAP managed data products and to share the data products using the Delta Sharing Protocol. So in the bottom layer here, you can see the SAP managed source systems, and on top of it sits the Foundation Service layer, right? And here you can acquire the raw data from the source systems. And point to note is this Foundation Service is all managed by SAP, and it is an always on service, and it is hidden from the customers. In this foundation service, we are providing a functionality to the LOB application owners to design or to define the data product. So they will define the metadata that is required for this product, the business semantics that is required for this data product. They will define the APIs, right? For example, in case of S4, they will define which extraction enabled CDS views will provide the required information for that data product. So that for that we use metadata lifecycle orchestration sub-service of a foundation service layer. And this foundation service layer also has got this HANA data lake file or object store as a data storage. So you remember that HANA data lake files and object store can be used interchangeably. They are synonymous to each other, right? And basically what is happening is data is replicated from the SAP managed source system, and then it is persisted here in the object store of this data foundation service. So we have the persistency layer over here. We want to share the metadata and the data with consumers. So for data consumers, which could be Databricks or SAP Datasphere, we share the data using the Delta sharing protocol. So we need to have this Delta data sharing and distribution services over here as part of the foundation service layer. And then to transform the raw data, we will have the data transformation and curation services, which underneath uses the Apache Spark. And now the very important point to note is the foundation services uses an object store to manage data, but this is only for SAP managed data products. For customer and partner managed data product, SAP Datasphere object store will be used, and that is not part of the foundation services. Now, on top layer here, you can see the different consumers of data residing in the foundation services. And these consumers are SAP Datasphere, SAP Business Accelerator Hub, and SAP Databricks. So basically, data products are shared with SAP Datasphere for modeling purposes. It is shared with Business Accelerator Hub with all the metadata information. And this is a publicly available website. So you can go to the Business Accelerator Hub, and there you will see a new tab called Data Products, and you'll be able to see all the metadata and API information there. Okay. And also the data products are shared with SAP Databricks for executing AI/ML scenarios. Now we can have a look at the Business Data Cloud cockpit and its capabilities. And this is a very important topic from a certification standpoint. So you might expect few questions from this topic, so it's better to pay attention. So you can see on the slide, this is how the BDC cockpit looks like. Okay, this is the home page, and there will be few options. We will go through it in the system demo. Okay, so for now, just know that it's the central entry point for the Business Data Cloud, and it can be used to discover and to look at what all intelligent applications SAP has provided, what all data packages SAP has provided, and then what are the systems that are integrated into our BDC landscape or BDC formation, right? And you can also install the intelligent application in the cockpit, and also, roles and user administration can be done via BDC cockpit. Again, a very important topic, and you should understand the difference between two core components of Business Data Cloud Cockpit, that is intelligent applications and data packages. So in BDC cockpit, once you browse the intelligent application, and click on install, it will automatically choose the associated data products in the background. And all Datasphere models and SAC dashboard will be installed and deployed. So basically, all the modeling and all the visualization artifacts will be deployed from top to bottom layer. And intelligent applications are pre-delivered, and once installed, it is all managed by SAP. Now comes the data packages. So it is basically a logical grouping of all the relevant data products that are applicable for a particular business process. And what's the use case scenario for data packages? Let's talk about it. Suppose if the data products are to be consumed independently for the analytics use cases in Datasphere, or if the data products are to be shared with Databricks to realize AI/ML scenarios, then in such cases, it is a good idea to activate data packages. Okay. And before we move ahead, one thing to remember is that a difference between installing and activating. Okay. So you remember that you always install the intelligent applications and you always activate the data packages. There's no option to install the data packages, right? Because you install something which is ready to be consumed. Intelligent application is ready to be consumed. Data packages, there's no visualization layer for data packages. Okay, data packages will bring in the data products, and then you can do further modeling. Okay, that was the high level thing. What this pictorial representation is telling you is that if you go to the BDC cockpit, okay, and you search for an intelligent application, right? So working capital intelligent application in this case, and then you click on install. Okay, so once you click on install, the associated data products become usable even if you don't see them directly. The data is replicated from your source system, and all the standard artifacts are installed in the SAP Datasphere and SAP Analytics Cloud, which are required for the intelligent application to work. And as a result, the dashboards can be directly consumed by the user. So actually, if you check out the BDC certification page, and we will go through it after this session, towards the end of this session. So there's a practical exercise on installing the intelligent application in the system. And that's kind of a simulation. And then you have to do it on your own as a practical test as well. And that will give you a fair idea about this entire process. Now coming to the activation of data packages. So let's say you go to the BDC cockpit again, okay, and then you search for the relevant data package. In this scenario, it is capital data package, and then you click on activate. So activation of a data package means that corresponding baseline data from the source system and the relevant data products are now available in the catalog, okay, but they are not usable yet. So to make them usable, you need an additional step. And that step is that you need to install the data products, right? So these data products, okay, you need to install it in the catalog of Datasphere, right? And in your own Datasphere space. So in Cockpit, you activate data packages, you install the data product in Datasphere catalog. Or you can share the data products further with SAP Databricks for AI/ML scenarios. Okay, so we will now quickly touch base upon the role of SAP Datasphere in Business Data Cloud. We have already seen a lot of detail around Datasphere, but on a high level, okay, we all know that in 2023, SAP introduced SAP Datasphere as its public cloud-based business data fabric with a strong focus on integration of both SAP as well as non-SAP sources to build your analytic use cases. And we have already seen Datasphere like in so much details in last 1 hour, right? Only few things I would like to emphasize here is that Datasphere is and remains the enterprise data fabric solution of SAP for public cloud deployment. Moreover, Datasphere is the central component for modeling in business data cloud and will therefore continue to be enhanced by SAP. Okay, there will be no feature gap between Datasphere within the Business Data Cloud and the standalone version of Datasphere. Datasphere provides a wide range of built-in connections to various data sources. So if the data isn't readily available as a data product within an intelligent application or in a third-party solution, you can use Datasphere's native connection capability to bring the data into BDC. And this allows you to leverage data from both SAP system and non-SAP system. And then you can build your analytics use cases or AI/ML use cases, right? Also, just know that the existing DataSphere contracts will also continue without any issue, and there will be a seamless integration with Business Data Cloud, both commercially and technically, without any disruptions to current operations or existing APIs. That was a bit of Datasphere in context of Business Data Cloud. And now let's have a look at the role of SAP Databricks in SAP Business Data Cloud. Okay, so by deploying the intelligent applications, you can already gather many insights into your SAP data, right? So, however, but if you need to execute some machine learning algorithms on top of your data, so to save your trouble and to save the cost of copying the data into another machine learning platform, so we are providing the Databricks embedded within the BDC platform, which will be completely managed by SAP. So Databricks is an industry-leading cloud-based platform when it comes to data engineering, data science, and AI/ML use cases. We have an inbound OEM agreement between SAP and Databricks that involves embedding Databricks directly into the SAP Business Data Cloud as an SAP managed service. So when you enable BDC, you will have the option to also enable Databricks for your ML and data engineering needs. This partnership aims to reduce the total cost of ownership and empowers business to unlock the complete potential of their data, leading to improved decision making, right? And as Databricks has been tailored to the specific needs of SAP, it includes only the most important features from the full Databricks solution to bring the AI and ML to SAP Business Data Cloud. And it does not include the complete Databricks architecture and capabilities from a standalone Databricks perspective. So, and this embedded instance of Databricks is officially called SAP Databricks because it will be managed by SAP and it is included in the BDC core commercial offering. That was the overview of Databricks. Here we will, on the slide, we will look on some of the capabilities that SAP Databricks have. So you can see on the slide AI ML capability, right? So from classical machine learning use cases like prediction, regression, and classification to generative AI use cases that AI models can leverage, and it can be taken to the production. Okay, and there's this data science for the collaborative and unified data science environment with IDE integration and built-in visualization tools. Data engineering is a very much part of the stack when it comes to transforming data, which includes automated ETL, processing, observability, and monitoring in a single stack. And for data governance, Databricks has a Unity catalog where you can see the structures of the data product. Not exactly the data itself, because the data is not persisted, but only read virtually via Delta Share protocol using zero copy mechanism. And we have seen the Delta Share protocol and zero copy mechanism in the previous slides, right? There are some additional features also included like notebooks, like feature engineering, like Mosaic AI, right, for model training, or even you can build your own custom model. So that was the overview of the capabilities of Databricks. Now, what is the use case of Databricks? So in case you want to develop and execute machine learning algorithms on top of your SAP and non-SAP data, or maybe you want to develop a generative data models on your SAP data to support AI use cases. So this is where the SAP Databricks is used. So in the BDC cockpit, you activate the data packages, right? We talked about it in the previous slides also. And this will bring in the data from your source systems via data products, right? So these two data products you can see. So now from the BDC cockpit catalog, you can share these data products directly with the Databricks, okay, using the Delta sharing protocol, which means data is shared without the need to copy it, and hence it is referred to as zero copy. And then you build and operationalize the machine learning models in Databricks, okay? And the results of AI/ML models can then be stored in a newly created data product in the Databricks. And since Databricks is tightly integrated with BDC, it is also enabled to share the output of these AI/ML models back to BDC, again using the Delta sharing protocol, right? And you can find this new data product now from Databricks into the BDC catalog or in the Datasphere. And then you can do a further modeling on top of it. So that was the use case scenario for Databricks. Okay, now it's time to move on to the new topic, which is the integration of SAP BW and how an existing SAP BW investment can be used in context of Business Data Cloud. So we will have a look at it. So in the Business Data Cloud concept, we have now a new modernization, BW modernization path. Okay. So as we know, BDC requires somehow a SAP managed cloud environment to wire everything automatically together. So in order to get your BW into the BDC landscape, you require a PCE environment, right? If not on cloud, it doesn't work. It's the same on S4. So if you have S4 on premise, you cannot connect tightly to the BDC landscape. Similarly, BW has to be on PCE, meaning Private Cloud Edition, to be able to integrate with BDC and to be able to automate the generation of data products to move BW data into BDC. So basically, there are these three steps in the BW modernization journey, which is lift, shift, and innovate. So lift means that you lift your on-premise BW system to PCE, that is Private Cloud Edition, okay, to be able to leverage BW data as a data product while taking advantage of a holistically SAP managed environment, removing hardware maintenance and lowering TCO for the customers. Okay. Then comes the shift. So in lift, you are just lifting your on-premise system to PCE. That's all. So, and in Shift, now if customer is on BWPCE, we can integrate them tightly into the BDC formation or BDC landscape. And then customer can start using this data product generator, okay, to create data products based on BW objects, which means at the end, BW data will then be accessible via the object store of Datasphere. Okay, and you can implement new use cases. You can combine BW data further with SAP or non-SAP data, and also you can realize some AI/ML use cases while sharing the BW data with Databricks. Okay. Then comes the third step, which is innovate. Means you can switch over from BW content more to this lakehouse architecture. And where along with the BW data products, you would then leverage directly the SAP managed data products, okay, and intelligent applications instead of the BW content. And that will also enable customers to follow a clean core principle for SAP BW and moving away from a lot of customization. Okay, so that's the BW modernization story. So here a little bit more details about each step. So the first step is to lift your existing SAP BW NetWeaver or SAP BW 7.5 on HANA or SAP B4 HANA on-premise deployment as is into the private cloud edition. Okay, so if your SAP BW on-premise system is still on a non-SAP HANA database, a migration to SAP BW on HANA is required before you can lift to the cloud. Optionally, you can execute a conversion to SAP B4 HANA either during the move to the cloud or at any point while BW NetWeaver is still supported. Now, after the lift to the cloud, your BW 7.5 mainstream maintenance is then extended to 2030 instead of 2027. So, this extension will give you more time to gradually shift to SAP Business Data Cloud without going to an immediate solution. And after lifting to the cloud, SAP B4 HANA maintenance is currently planned until 2040. Okay, so once your SAP BW has been lifted to private cloud, you will be able to use the data product generator that comes under the shift part. Okay, and using the data product generator, you will be able to push the SAP BW data into the SAP Business Data Cloud. And SAP Business Data Cloud will then consume your SAP BW info providers through a BW data product, okay, created in the SAP Datasphere component of SAP Business Data Cloud. And you could create new analytical scenarios by mixing the SAP BW data with any external data. And or you can share SAP BW data with SAP Databricks via Delta sharing protocol, and you can implement further AI/ML use cases. In the shift step, in the last slide, so you will be able to explore SAP Managed Data Project, Data Product, and Intelligent Application. And now comes the Innovate. So in Innovate, you will be able to replace existing SAP BW scenarios and create new scenarios utilizing this SAP Managed Data Products and Intelligent Application. And this will allow you to create analytic scenarios following a clean core principle. And in the long run, basically leveraging SAP BW as data product while adopting SAP managed data product and intelligent applications, it will enable you to decommission your SAP BW system, not right away, but over time. And yeah, that's the entire BW modernization story and the three steps, lift, shift, innovate in a nutshell. So it's time to move on and see the SAP Analytics Cloud, the role of SAP Analytics Cloud in BDC. Okay, and we have already seen SAP Analytics Cloud in details at the starting of today's session. So I will touch base only very important points. And I would like to mention that SAP Analytics Cloud is the key front-end solution in SAP Business Data Cloud to visualize the data. So basically, SAC serves as the presentation and consumption layer for intelligent applications. In fact, if you want to use a pre-delivered intelligent application, then you will definitely need SAP Analytics Cloud to do so. And all SAC existing functionalities and features will remain as is. And you see this, it supports live and custom connections, right? So in context of BDC, the new content from SAP Managed Intelligent Applications uses an SAP Managed additional live connection that links the SAP Datasphere component and SAP Analytics Cloud. You can, of course, also create additional connections to access your custom models in SAP Datasphere and then create new models, new stories, and planning scenarios in SAP Analytics Cloud. So that was the purpose of SAC in BDC, right? And coming to the customization scenario in SAP Analytics Cloud, so suppose you have installed an intelligent application. Now you want to combine data from other data products that were not part of the SAP delivered intelligent application. So such data products might be data product from SAP Databricks or data products generated from SAP BW info providers, or it can be data products delivered by SAP in separate data packages, right? So what you can do, you can integrate the different data products in new models in Datasphere. So for this purpose, there are a few steps that you can follow. So number one, in the BDC cockpit, you can go and activate the required data packages. All right. Then in the step two, you will install the associated data products, which comes as part of this data packages. Okay. And you install these data products in your custom space in Datasphere. Then as step three, you create new adjusted models in Datasphere based on these multiple data products, right? And in the step four, you create a new SAP Analytics Cloud story and you visualize the data. That is how the flow is. And now let's have a look at what are the intelligent applications in Business Data Cloud and how they are managed. So by providing intelligent applications, SAP has greatly reduced your time to value for data analysis. So in the old process, without any intelligent application, there were these many steps, okay, that would have required in-depth, prolonged thought along with the setup of many system tasks. So now with intelligent application, all the needed tasks have been taken care by SAP. And instead of these 8 to 10 steps, you only require 2 steps, right? First, you install the intelligent application. And second, you assign roles to the relevant users. And now you are ready to consume the data from your source applications. Okay, and also we have got different type of intelligent application, basically two type of intelligent applications, right? One is low code, no code application with SAC dashboard, and another one is this pro code applications, which are highly customized, highly coded applications. So when we have applications with analytical dashboards, it will create and deploy the corresponding artifacts required from Datasphere. There would be also search-driven application that will be AI-powered. So we are already giving users option to query in natural query languages, and then they can query the underlying models and generate their own KPIs. So that's also a possibility with the intelligent application. And we also talked about Pro Code Intelligent Application based on BTP application development, right? So Pro Code apps could be apps that require maybe a transactional update, or maybe they have more complicated scenarios. And some of the examples you see over here for the Pro Code apps are Sustainability Control Tower, Spend Control Tower, or TPM. And please note that at the moment, only low code, no code intelligent applications are available, but there are plans to release pro code applications, intelligent applications also as part of the future releases coming this year and the starting of next year. Okay. All right. So we can see an intelligent application consists of a visualization object and its underlying models, right? So at the moment, the visualization object is the dashboard. Technically, it is an SAC story underneath. But going forward, as I said, there are plans to bring in more advanced intelligent application, which is pro code using the BTP application development and maybe based on CAP programming. And as I said, the intelligent application is presented to the business user as a SAP Analytics Cloud story, which is connected to one or more underlying SAP Datasphere models, right? And where the data is sourced from different source system into the data products. The story, the SAC story and all the connected models for that particular intelligent application are automatically created and deployed during the installation of the intelligent application. And even the roles are generated. So you just have to assign the roles to the users, to the designated users, and then you are ready to consume the data, actual data from your source system. And an important point to note is that intelligent applications are not deployed for consumption by any third-party tool. It can be deployed only in SAC. So that was the overview of intelligent application. Now, installation of an intelligent application create SAP managed objects. Again, pay attention. This is an important topic from a certification standpoint, right? And we want to understand how the process flows, okay? So the question is, what will happen if you install an intelligent application? So you go to the BDC cockpit here, okay? Again, you search for the relevant intelligent application, right? In this example, it is working capital intelligent application, and then you will get an option to install. So you hit install, right? And as soon as you hit install, the status of this intelligent application changes from available to install. Okay. We will have a look at the system also, but try to understand it now via this slide. So as a step 2, all the associated data products are installed and deployed in the data sphere, and the data access is established, right? Data access from the source system. And this includes automated data replication from your business application, from your source system into the foundation service layer of the business data cloud. As a step 3, SAP managed intelligent application spaces are created in SAP Datasphere to manage the intelligent application content. And as a step 4, SAP Datasphere artifacts such as replication flows, tables, views, and analytic models. So these are created in Datasphere spaces to ingest, prepare, and expose the required data to SAP Analytics Cloud. And at this step, the data is ingested from foundation services layer into the Datasphere object store. Okay. And then as a step 5 here, the scoped or the assigned roles are generated for the application space for that particular intelligent application. And you assign the roles. And a dashboard, as a step 6, a dashboard is generated to visualize the data. And as I mentioned earlier, an intelligent application is typically deployed as a SAC story at the moment. And point to note is that throughout the process, automated data provisioning will happen from your data source to the dashboard. Okay, all operational activities such as continuous data provisioning tasks are automatically taken care by SAP. And all of this is happening with just a single click of installation. So that's how the flow is for the intelligent application. Now we will quickly look at the customization piece of intelligent application. So suppose you have discovered and installed an intelligent application, but that does not quite fit your needs. Because let's say you need to add another widget or a company logo. So here the customization comes into the play, which means you would like to enhance the intelligent application story or the dashboard. So, and as in our all other products, the standard objects are protected against any changes. So in BDC also, directly adjusting the SAP managed intelligent application is not supported. It is not possible to copy an entire intelligent application and all of its dependent object, but it is possible to copy most of its component. So the easiest way to enable enhancement is to copy the SAP Analytics Cloud story, right, into a new story and then enhance or adjust this copy, right? While adjustments are done in the front end layer, the underlying models in Datasphere remain same. So that was the scenario one. So we also have another scenario. So now suppose a pre-delivered intelligent application almost fulfills your need, but there is a business ask to add additional attributes, some calculations, or a role level authorizations in the underlying models in Datasphere. So in this scenario, there is a two-step customization. One will be done in the Datasphere, second will be done in the SAP Analytics Cloud. So in Datasphere, you create a customer managed space for harmonization and for consumption, and copy the artifacts from SAP Managed Intelligent Application Space and reusable space to the customer managed space. So you copy the view and the analytic model, right? And as a step two, you can enhance this analytic model. For example, you add another attribute or add some calculations here in the copy of this analytic model. And third is you remap this analytical model with the copied view in the customer managed harmonization space. Alternatively, you can also create more complex, entirely new scripted views or graphical views and a new analytic model to add the data access control, right? So now in SAC, you can copy and adjust the story, all right? And then you need to repoint the source of the story to the copied analytic model in the customer managed space. Alternatively, you can also create a new story consuming the new Datasphere analytic model, right? And yeah, with that was the scenario two. And with this, we have covered all the important topics. We can take a pause from slide. I can show you a little bit in the system how it looks like. Okay, so this is how the home page of BDC Cockpit looks like. Okay, and you will see all your application packages here. In this folder, this is the main folder. You will get to browse more often. And here you will see two tabs. So one is available, meaning all the pre-delivered intelligent application and the pre-delivered by SAP, all the data packages, you'll be able to see and browse and discover here in the BDC cockpit, right? So once you click on any intelligent application, it will give you some information about the intelligent app, which includes the documentation, how it looks like, what kind of KPIs it is showing. It will also give you the details around all the data products which have been used in this particular intelligent application. And then you will be able to see these three spaces, right? So the content will be stored in the SAP managed space in Datasphere and SAP managed folder in SAC. Okay, I'll go back. So, okay, 1 second. So there, the status is available. You see that, right? Yeah, because it is available to you. It is pre-delivered, but it is not ready to be consumed. It is not yet installed. So you have to install the intelligent application, right? That is what we have seen on the slides. Once you install, then it is ready for the consumption. So here in the next tab, you see installed ones. So in our demo tenant, we have this working capital insights installed. This is an intelligent application. And as soon as you install it, the available status converts into installed, right? So now it is ready to be consumed, right? Uh, you can go and open the application from here. So this is going to take you to your SAC because as we discussed, it's a consumption and presentation layer for intelligent applications, right? So this is how the intelligent application looks like. You have all the filters, you have different pages, major KPIs coming up, different graphs, right? And it is fetching and showing you all the real data, all the actual data from your S4 source system. So there is no additional step to bring in the data. And in case customers are facing any issue, then you can raise it to SAP because the entire flow of SAP managed intelligent application from source to dashboard is managed by SAP, right? And yeah, it is not a custom application, so SAP is taking care of it. Now I'm coming back to the BDC cockpit. Okay. Also in the install tab, you will be able to see the intelligent application and data packages that are activated in your system. You see the status here, right? Activated data packages. And once you go into the activated data packages, you will see the list of data product this data package contains, right? And these are active. And for this to consume for modeling purposes, you have to go to the data sphere and then you install the data product in Datasphere. For example, cash flow. Okay, I think okay, so let me go to the Datasphere once. All right, so in the catalog and marketplace, you search for the data product, okay, which is all pre-delivered. Okay, cash flow. Right. So you will see the cash flow data product, and once you go into the cash flow data product, you will get to see some summary, some description, some documentation about what this data product is, and then you will get a option to install, right? So we already have this installed in our system, but you can click on install, and once you click on install, you will be able to select your target space in Datasphere. Okay, for example, this. And if it is already installed, it will tell you that it is already installed. So you can do start, import, and deploy. And with this, you have the data coming in into your DataSphere from the foundation services. I'm not going to do that installation because it will take some time. This is just to show you how it looks like in the system. Now I'm coming back to the BDC cockpit. All right. And the interesting thing is you have a catalog and marketplace in BDC cockpit also. All right. So you search all the data products in BDC cockpit also, but this catalog is used for sharing the data products with Databricks. Okay, the Datasphere catalog is used for installing the data products and use it for the analytical modeling purposes in Datasphere. The BDC catalog is used for sharing it with Datasphere. So you click on any data product, you will get every detail. Okay, since it is active but not installed, it is not giving me the share option. But let's say if I have any active one, active meaning the data package is already activated. For example, supplier. Okay. So this one is active. So you see a share option here, right? So once you click on share, it means you can share it with Databricks. And you see the system name, and then you can give the space. Databricks also has have some workspaces. As we have spaces in Datasphere, we have spaces in Databricks also. You can share the data products directly with Databricks using the catalog of BDC cockpit. Okay. The last option in BDC cockpit is system landscape. This is all kind of repository for all the systems which are connected into BDC landscape. So you can see your Datasphere tenant, your source system, which is S/4HANA PCE, your SAC, your Databricks instance, everything connected into one landscape. So that was the system part. And now I'll go back to the slide. Time for the poll. We will not spend much time here. Sorry. Can someone launch the poll, please? Yeah. So you have four questions here. Very simple one. I'll give you 1 minute to answer, and then we will move ahead. All right, in interest of time, I will end the poll now and we will discuss the answers. Okay, so what is SAP Business Data Cloud? We all know it now. Whosoever has answered it correctly, so you know it by now. Congratulations. Second is what is included in a data product. Okay, so correct answer is data from source application. Okay, metadata and okay, it is not coming up correctly. So what I will do, I will share my slide. Okay. So this first one we discussed. Second is what is included in a data product. There are two correct answers, right? Data product will have data from your source application and the metadata described as well. Third is why would you use the SAP Business Data Cloud Cockpit? So we talked a lot about BDC Cockpit, so you know the answers, right? What is a data package? We know it's a collection of data products, all the simple ones, right? So now with that, we are done with the content for this particular academy session. And we will quickly take you through the steps that you need to take to get certified in Business Data Cloud. All right, this is how the homepage looks like, and I will take you through it in the live link. Okay, so this is how the page looks like for the certification for Business Data Cloud in learning.sap.com. And you will get 30 questions. You will get 1 hour to do that. There are some sample questions, okay, and probably we can go quickly. This is how it's gonna look like, and then you will have few questions like what is the role of SAP Databricks, right? And we know what does it do, AI and machine learning capabilities, right? So something like that. So why would you use the SAP Business Data Cloud Cockpit? So we know now, install, activate data packages, and you discover, right? So you take your time, you go through the questions, right? What are the some purposes of Business Data Cloud? To provide foundational services, homogeneous system, okay. And what is the role of Datasphere? And the role of Datasphere is to add semantically rich models to prepare for data analysis. Okay, you submit the entire thing, and then you get your score. So that is the sample questions for you, and probably we will see how to prepare. So these are the topic areas, and we have covered 3 learning journeys in this academy session, and these are the questions, percentage of questions that will come from each topic, right? So probably you would like to focus more on the SAP data sphere, and then 50% of questions might come from this topic, and rest are divided into BDC topic and SAC topic. All right, and this is very interesting and important piece, which I would like to walk you through. So once you go into this exploring SAP Business Data Cloud, you will see these steps, right? So this is the first learning journey. You have to actually click in it, go through it, all right? Second is SAP Datasphere. You have to go through it. And third is register to unlock. 1 second. Okay. So yeah, then we were talking about this practical exercise, right? So there's a practical exercise which is the interactive demo, and which highlights the BDC cockpit and installation of intelligent application, and how you can enhance the analytic model in DataSphere. So this exercise will give you a fair idea how things are done in the system, and then you will have to mandatorily appear for this practical test. So this will ask you to simulate the same things which you have learned in the practical exercise. So you have to really perform the steps on your own and then pass this practical test. Once this is come, okay, this is the third learning journey, SAP Analytics Cloud. Of course, you would have read all the 3 learning journeys, and then you do the practical exercise, you appear for the practical test. It will take hardly 5 to 10 minutes. It's an easy one, or not a time consuming stuff, okay? And then once you are done with it, then you click here, and then the schedule exam will be enabled for you. unless you don't do your practical test, this will be disabled. So once those steps are done, then you will be able to schedule your exam. So that was the important information I wanted to share with you. This you already know. If you would have appeared for any kind of certification exam with SAP, you know how the marking is done, right? And these are the three learning journeys. This content slides will be shared with you. You have the direct link for each learning journey, and you can go through it. And the certification path, we talked about it, right? You go into the Explore SAP BDC, all these links are clickable. You can go through it, learning journey, hands-on test, we talked about it, and you can schedule your exam. So with this, I would like to say all the best for your preparation and for your certification exam. And thank you for being with us. And thank you for your time. Hukba, I think we can stop the recording now.